all of you are Pathfinders. And for those who didn't tune into episode 0, I'd like to take a moment to kind of introduce each of your characters. Not circumstantially, so to speak, like not in the sense of you doing anything, just as a general overview. Let's start with you, Morty. Who is Celtiel?
Bitch.
Celtiel is a bastard. Fighter. With a little bit of magic involved. Quick-witted, but moody.
Okay.
I don't know what else you want me to say.
What does he look like?
Oh, that's fair. Silver white hair, I think. Very trim, but fit. Kind of like, well, not like jaunt, but like he just kind of looks like he could probably use like a week off. Like, just kind of recoup. He's not as plump as like others are. A little bit more like bone showing. Very goth looking. A lot of black, a lot of chains, a lot of belts. A nice cape. Like a bluish black cape.
And he has what kind of a weapon?
Well, in the inventory, he has a long sword, but can that just be whatever, or?
No, it's a longsword.
Okay.
Just curious.
It's a long sword, probably with like a little bit of a curve, perhaps.
Okay. That makes sense. All right. How about Lyrianne?
Lyrianne. Lyrianne is about 5'4", close to about 145, 150 pounds roughly, black hair. She's a half-elf who doesn't seem to act her age a lot of times. She's still filled with that childlike wonder of seeing everything around in a new light because she hasn't really traveled that much. This is her first time actually leaving her home country. And she has a very large fascination with anything that goes boom in any different sort, whether it be explosives, guns, cannons, or anything involving gunpowder. She really wants to be a part of it.
Okay. Next will be Feya. Who is Feya?
Feya is misunderstood. She came from hags. Defeating the hags she was tormented with, and all she seeks is her freedom. And to be able to choose. And she joined the Pathfinders to learn and accumulate shinies.
And this came just after a recent adventure in Corvosa, correct?
Recently enough, yeah.
Okay.
She was able to turn herself human after giving up all her treasures. Most.
It probably cost most of those treasures.
It would have cost at least 2, but she gave them all up to be human because she missed being human.
That intellect.
I wasn't going to say it.
It's fair. And what does Feya look like?
Feya is Minkayan, which is this world version of Japanese. She has very long, almost as if it's never been cut, white hair. She looks dark, gritty. Her nails are longer than they should be, like she's, starting records.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, she just seems very standoffish.
Does she have anyone who travels with her everywhere?
She has a fox. Who looks adorable. Super adorable, but he does not like to be touched. By anyone except for me.
Right. Sione.
Sione is a sorcerer. I pegged her at about age 23. 5'8", with blue eyes, and her hair is interesting. It's silver, and it kind of goes out in the back, like in a poof. I don't really know how to describe that. It's just going back. And she's got two really long, I think two, braids that go down to about her knees. I don't know if what she's wearing could be called robes, but she's wearing red robes with golden accents with flowers on the bottom.
Okay.
And most notably, she has tattoos going up and down her body. They look like symbols, like runes almost. She's a very clearly Bersian,
Okay.
and all that would imply. She travels a lot.
And does Sione have anyone who travels with her everywhere?
Yes. She has a familiar named Dragon. He's not actually a dragon. He is a skink. Yeah, he's pretty much everywhere with her.
Okay.
And she's very curious about the world, very interested in magic and just history, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
She's very methodical, and that's all I'll say about that.
And finally, how about Olak?
Olak is a half-orc from the Hold of Belkson. He grew up in the gladiator pits as a fighting slave.
That would be at Serpent's Run, correct?
No, he's essentially been born as, well, he's more or less been raised as a slave fighting in the gladiator pits in Belkson.
That's what it's called, I think. Oh, those gladiator pits. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, so even
Okay.
before Serpent's Run, he essentially grew up fighting, raised by priests of Gorum.
And real quick, what is Gorum the god of?
Gorum, also known as the Man in Iron, is more or less the main deity worship in the Hold of Belkson. He is the god of destruction, chaos, war. His favorite sword is his favorite weapon is the great sword and armor spikes.
He reminds me of someone.
What was it? Yeah, I remember.
I was thinking of Amiri, but yeah. He's like
No,
the lone
it's-
child of Amiri and Leori.
It's not a cruel god. It's more like a god that revels in fighting, in battles.
Mm-hmm. And is... I'm sorry, how is his name pronounced?
Gorum? Olak?
No. Olak. Is Olak of a similar mindset?
Olak, he's in the growing phase. He loves the destruction. He likes battle, but he's trying to control it. So he's a bit broody. He's essentially like not so long ago he was banished from his home because he could not control his temper. He was just way too violent. So he found himself basically joining the Pathfinders through the main capital, or what could be the capital of Belkson. And he's learning to kind of control that urge of wanton destruction, but it's still there. But there's nothing like smashing and slicing and providing the blessing of the Man in Iron to those who he fights.
All right, fair enough. That's good enough for me. So, all of you, 5 aspiring or maybe a little bit experienced Pathfinders in some cases. Ooh, I better do that. You have all recently come to Hyde March Manor, the Pathfinder Lodge in Magnumar. It's, well, as was explained in a letter. Why don't I just read the letter? All of you recently acquired a letter from one Sheila Hydemarch that reads, "Greetings, fellow seeker of adventure. I am Sheila Hydemarch, venture captain of the newest Pathfinder Society Lodge, and the only such lodge in Varizia at this time. You have come to my attention as someone who possesses a certain amount of skill and interests that make you an excellent addition to a highly specialized team. I'm putting this team together for a matter of grave import, not only to the Society, but to all of Varizia as a whole. Please report an hour before noon to Hyde March Manor. You will be compensated for your visit, but that reward will pale in light of the riches which await you should we come to an agreement on my proposition to you. I look forward to meeting you soon. Sheila Hydemarch." So all of you received this letter. And from your various locations within Magnimar, which I have marked all of the districts on this map for your benefit, you can assume that your characters know all of that information. You know those are the districts. I would think most of you would be staying either in Ordelia, Beacon's Point for Seone, or Dockway. For those of you who just recently traveled into Magnimar. But on this particular day, all of you have come to the Alabaster District, to Hyde March Manor, which I will mark on the map. So Hyde March Manor is located in the Alabaster District of Magnumar, pretty close to the city's easternmost gate. The manor grounds are surrounded by a stone wall, but the front gate hangs open throughout the day. When you were inducted into the Pathfinder Society in Magnumar, each of you would have visited here at some point or another. So you have met Sheila Hydemarch before, and her husband, most likely. Visitors, you know, are always welcome to the manor, particularly Pathfinders. And this manor house has come to double as the first Pathfinder Lodge in all of Varizia. So one by one, as each of you arrived, presumably solo, a servant escorted you, asked you to wait in the foyer and showed you to some chairs as Sheila Hydemarch, you find out, is finishing up a meeting with an unexpected visitor. So, and this is just for your benefit to kind of see what Hyde March Manor looks like. So you are brought in here, into this little room. The servant asks, this is where they meet you, they find out what each of you is here for, and they take you into a little foyer. Why did I just select Celtiel? I guess it was meant to be.
Celtiel. They
take you into this, into this little foyer, and then, again, over here. So, okay, it's still lagging, but it's better. Okay. Just don't touch anything, or you can move your token accordingly. But each of you is brought through this long, elegant hall lined with paintings of Lord and Lady Hydemarch. Actually, I don't think they're lords. I think they're, of the venture captain and her husband in various adventures. One of them climbing a mountain together, one of them fighting a yeti, one of them riding on the back of some winged beast chased by a dragon. They take you into this little parlor where there are some seats, and the servant has each of you wait, and one by one, more of you are brought in. So I give you now the scene as... actually, who among you thinks you would be the earliest? Let's do it this way.
Seone, probably.
And then Faya.
Same with Lyrianne. She has all that military discipline.
Faya just likes to watch people, so what better thing to do than watch people walk in?
So who would be the early? I just need the very earliest.
You wanna
Watch
take
would
it,
have read
Sione?
one time.
Maybe Sione? I don't know.
I
Not
think
me.
s-
I
I
don't
mean,
know
I
what
don't-
the earliest.
I don't know them as well, but
So you're supposed to be here at noon. Let's put it that way. What time would Sione arrive?
11:50.
Anyone earlier than that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Lyrianne's earlier.
Yeah, Faya would be too.
Okay. So what time would Lyrianne arrive?
We're like 11.
Oh my god.
I wouldn't be that early. Like 11.
That's a bit much.
She's
Yeah.
military. What do you expect?
Okay. Probably Lyrianne then. And who would be number 2? Faya?
Yeah.
So Lyrianne, you are in this parlor, just kind of patiently waiting, when the same servant who escorted you here brings in a second Pathfinder, a woman you might have seen in passing. She's certainly famous amongst the Pathfinders at this point, given her past adventures, that being the witch Faya.
Lyrianne just kind of looks at her for a moment, and a thought flashes through her head. But then she frowns for a second, and then smiles again.
And what does Faya do?
This dodgy. And she'll go sit down and read.
They let little pet in here.
Little. What? No. 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 And she'll go back to reading.
Would anyone else arrive prior to 11:50?
I'd probably arrive at 11:50 as well. That seems a reasonable time.
Great.
Okay, so Sione, you're kind of looking at some of the landscaping as you're walking up the path, and you see or you hear footsteps on the little garden-tiled path up here, and you turn to look, and you see a familiar face, a pale, sickly-looking, half-elven warrior, of whom I believe you have crossed paths.
Just looking. Walking.
Sione kind of like narrows her eyes.
Oh, it's you!
She's gonna ignore him and go to where she needs to be.
Okay. When you open the door, the servant seems to be expecting the two of you. He greets both of you and escorts you into the parlor, where you can see a clearly foreign woman and a woman almost as pale as Celtiel,
On our way
poring
there,
over a tome.
on our way there through the hallways, I'd like to just say to Sione, what, you still upset about... Never mind. I'll straighten myself up.
Did you spend your fortune already?
I got paid if that's what you're asking. I wouldn't call it a fortune. But it's spent well.
And Faya and Lyrianne, this is the little bit of conversation you hear as these two new strangers are brought in.
No, you left a big mess that I had to clean up.
So
She's
you
gonna
are
go.
still mad.
She's gonna go sit down.
I'm gonna peer over my book. Here, I'll do demonstration. Kind of like
He's gonna look at Faya and then look at Celtiel and say, "Y'all kin for something?"
Excuse me, what?
Like y'all related? Y'all look like y'all come from the same family.
Talking about you and me, Sione.
No, I was talking about the little bright hair, the girl over there. Both dressed kind of oddly. Long silvery hair.
Holy crap, they do look alike.
Are you saying that just because we're both half-elves? That seems a little bit
I mean, I'm a half elf.
Duh.
Faye
No.
is human.
Oh, she's human? Oh, my
Yep.
bad.
She's
Well,
just really pale.
Faye will just point to her eyes, like, no, I mean kind.
Mankind? What's that? That like some sort of fancy dish?
She'll start cursing him in kind.
well, you
I
should
think
know how
you're
to
the
make
only
friends,
person
don't you?
who speaks it too.
Yeah, she'll start cursing like, what an idiot type cursing.
It's a
Siona's-
very elegant language.
Siona's just gonna cock her head and listen.
It's not loud either. It's just like, God.
That's why
fucking
she's
damn
cocking
it,
her head to
shit,
listen.
God, stupid.
As a clock somewhere in this manor begins to toll that the hour is noon, there's a crisp knock on the door, and at long last, Olak is escorted in. And Olak, you see these four trying their best to be comfortable in this parlor. And what do you do?
I think I'm in the wrong place.
No, welcome.
Is
You're
this
quite
the-
a big fella.
Is
God,
this
I'd had to fight you in a pit.
You don't recognize me, Setiel?
Can't place it. What's your name?
It's Olach.
Oh, Lodge. Remind me, where did we last meet?
Post a picture.
I legitimately don't know where we last met.
Other
than you smashing me in the actual pit.
I can't show it, but in the holy crap! I did not.
Is
Did
that
I own this?
Probably. That's
is it
number
the
2.
Hollow Mountain? Is it
Oh
Hollow
my
Mountain?
gosh! I want to read that.
Oh, okay. Yep. Okay.
So yeah, apparently they do know each other.
Oh wait, wasn't that the mountain business? Yeah.
Hollow Mountain, for those of you who don't know, is actually off the coast of Varizia. It's very near here. It's very coincidental that those two would be here. I'm
I didn't know
quite
that.
surprised.
I didn't know that.
I don't know what happened in Hollow Mountain. My recommendation to the two of you is just to refer vaguely to it.
I don't even remember it.
Oh, that's fine. I'm guessing this. I thought this was
Actually-
supposed to be a skinny people convention.
Actually, Lyriana and Sione know each other according to some other artwork I found.
That's up to you guys. I would just be vague about it if you aren't super familiar with it.
But
Honestly,
I still.
Olash, I don't mind the company that we have, to be honest.
Well, you're still pale and sickly looking.
When you're still green.
I'm just gonna push Setiel, see if he tips over.
I'll just gently move out of the way of your finger.
A door opens nearby,
Stop that.
that being this door, and two women step through, kind of casually talking to each other, one of whom you recognize as Sheila Hyde March. The other, if you want, you can do a knowledge dungeoneering check or a knowledge local check if you are proficient. Or I'm sorry, if you have ranks in it.
I have ranks in knowledge local.
I'll do dungeoneering, yeah.
Okay, so just for you guys' benefit for future reference with knowledge checks, you may attempt any knowledge check whether or not you have ranks in it. However, if you don't have at least one rank in a knowledge skill, the highest you can get, no matter what you roll on the die, is 10.
So I have a 10 then, because I don't have a rank in
Oh,
dungeoneering.
yep, so you got a total of 10.
But I'm proficient in it.
But it only matters if you have a rank in it,
Okay,
unfortunately.
that sucks.
So Lyrianne, 13. Neither of you recognize the woman with Sheila Hyde March. But Sheila, I believe I actually have a picture of her.
Damn.
This is Sheila Hyde March. And
Bad.
she is walking with... Do I have a picture? Yes, I do. With this woman.
Also not bad.
Another half-elf. And you can see that Sheila has kind of a green and black motif dress. She has a cane, but not like for leaning on, more for style. As they kind of laugh and walk around the hall, Sheila clears her throat. I apologize for keeping all of you waiting. May I introduce to you one of our more famous representatives, Koraya Asmirin. And the half-elf smiles and bows her head, slightly kind of nodding to you. It's a pleasure. These are some of our rising stars, I hope. I do have a noon appointment with them. And I should mention, as you see the half-elven woman, you can see that she is even now wearing leather armor and armed with a distinctive-looking mithril and redwood atlas, a hooked club attached to a cord. She also wears on her belt a bastard sword. Sheila goes on to say, Miss Asmirin is a renowned expert on the Darklands. You know, like the ones that were all of the buzz recently under Varizia, where those dark elves came from. She'll look to Celtil. I believe you were involved with that, weren't you?
Might have been, yes.
Vague, I love it.
Maybe not.
Miss Asmirin has been scouting out new routes down to Narvoth from the Fogscar Mountains. And she's returned with a number of Thessalonian artifacts from this expedition, which does indicate that the Darklands existed even before Earthfall, and the Thessalonians were exploring them. This is a fascinating discovery. What was that?
Faye would have perked up.
So did Sione.
Yeah, right as he said Thessalonian, Faye's just like, she puts her book down.
So I apologize for the further delay. Perhaps you and Koraya will all accompany me into the conference room. And I'm actually just going to use her token to mark the location of the conference room. If you want to move your tokens in there. As each of you is taking a seat in the conference room, and Koraya also takes a seat, Sheila goes on to say, I would like to thank all of you for answering my summons, of course. I realize that you all no doubt have very busy schedules. And as you're taking seats, you find that the room you are in, she called it the conference room, but it's kind of a combination library and study. The walls are lined with bookshelves, and several tables, not just the one, fit in the middle of the room and are heaped with scrolls, books, notes, etc. The table in the middle, however, has only a single object, an ornate cubical stone coffer covered in Thessalonian runes. So I apologize again for my delay, as I must conclude my business with Pathfinder Asmirin before we meet. In the meantime, though, I thought perhaps you could help me with another minor issue. Think of this as a test of sorts, of what you are capable of. She gestures to the Thessalonian object. This stone coffer is an ancient Thessalonian puzzle box, a cunning feat of magical engineering known today as a paradox box. As you'll see from even a casual investigation, what appear to be seams on the sides are only shallow grooves. There's no obvious way to open the thing. Each paradox box has its own secret method of being opened. Essentially, a paradox box substitutes hidden catches and magical triggers for a lock. Given time, anyone clever enough could figure out how to open a paradox box, just as, given time, a locksmith can open any lock. This particular box was among those items recovered by Koraya. The scrolls next to the box you will find are her preliminary notes on possible triggers, methods of opening it, some inscriptions on what the runes likely mean, but I've not yet had a chance to sit down and properly look the thing over. So, why don't you put your heads together and see if you can't do that for me? Even if the box is empty, as I suspect it probably is, knowing the method of opening it makes it a valuable find. I'll return as soon as my business with Koraya is finished, and I would love it if that box is open. Think of this as an audition, if you will, because the actual task I want to speak to you about will require much wit, as it will brawn. I'll be back shortly. And then she and Karaya move through the door. What? Is my door gone? They move out of the room into a different room. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. That's why I'm having problems. So, the box.
Oh, geez.
Oh shit.
Runes! God damn it. Okay. Is this Thessalonian by chance?
Absolutely. Yes.
What does it say?
So, in Thessalonian, these... Oh. I'm sorry. So, a quick trick for you guys that you will need to know. If you right-click on the bottom image, you should see a multi-sided option, and you can change which side of the box you're looking at. This is just one of the 6 sides of the cube.
Boy.
Do you see?
Oh.
There is a scroll beside it, which details different runes and their translations, which I have just revealed.
I'm like drawing it out on the paper.
And in addition to that, actually, I'm going to leave that visible. In addition to that, there is a second scroll detailing the suspected translations of the center tile in each of the sides of the box, which is here.
He's already moving things around.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Sione just like picked it up and started like fiddling with it.
So I will be on hand with if you have any questions. I can answer some of these questions, but...
Do you think it'll explode if I smash it?
I mean,
Doc,
I'm kind of on board with this little big fella here.
how about you take seat and let
I mean, she was said he wants it open, so what's the best way to get it open?
No, please no.
Open's open.
So, do we have to match these runes to each block that contains one of these translation riddles? Like, the more that there is, the less that you see. Squint all you wish when surrounded by me. I mean, that could be darkness. It could be many things. It's interesting. Does no one have any ideas?
Well, it's just kind of glaring at it.
See,
how
Faya
do you-
should be
how do you
really good at
glare?
that stuff, but Ava is not.
Oh, there we go.
So that's an issue.
Well, if nobody else is going to offer, I go up and touch wherever
Wait a minute.
the darkness rune is. People keep
you tell me which side.
People keep moving it. I don't know.
You guys might have to coordinate and use
Someone
some teamwork here.
Stop touching it. I'm trying to look for this.
I'm getting all my tabs situated.
Stop touching it.
I'm not touching it.
Someone stop touching it. For real.
I'm touching it.
Faya's gonna smack his hand away. No.
Alright, does anyone see the darkness?
It's the sun.
Darkness is bottom middle.
Of
On
what
which side?
Side.
One.
Oh, okay.
It's the sun. The more
What is-
there is, the less you see.
She's right. It is darkness right there.
Wonderful.
Are you...
What
Are you-
happens? What happens when I touch that?
Uh,
I'm gonna touch that specific one.
ping for me which one you're touching?
Your
Yes, that
finger
one.
falls off.
That's not it.
Which one?
I pinged it.
Oh, that one. Okay. When you push it, it actually pushes in like a button.
And when I let it go,
It stays in.
it stays in.
Mhm.
Well, that's progress if I don't know what else is.
It shouldn't be darkness. It should
Why
be the
not?
sun.
Why is it the sun?
Because the more sun there is, the less you see.
What that... Oh, honey.
The more sun there is, the less you see, and you squint when you're surrounded by the sun. It's light. You
We're
don't
about to
squint
find
in
out, huh?
darkness. I don't
That's-
squint in darkness.
Depends on what you're trying to see.
See it at night.
Have you ever tried to peer at something far away in the dark?
You don't squint in the dark.
Well,
But go on then.
where's
You're
where's
clearly
the-
more smarter.
Where's the other rune? For is it
It
daybreak?
is-
Is it
The sun is
The
the,
sun.
one directly above that darkness.
fine? Let's see what happens when I press the sun. And I'll go ahead and press on the sun.
It pushes in like a button.
Does the other one pop out?
Yes. I guess I suppose it would. Yes. The other one pops out when you
The other
push
one
the
pops
sun
out?
in.
Okay. Okay, so it appears that we can only press one button at a time. Or so it seems.
Are we going with the sun then?
I mean, why not? No one else seems to want to speak up in our new group here.
Well, y'all seem like y'all was having a good old merry time.
Would second be?
The
No.
man who invented doesn't want it for himself. The man who
So,
bought it doesn't.
real quick, which button did you have pushed in on number 1?
The sun.
Sun.
The top middle. Top middle.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Remember, this is a tiny chart.
I believe the next one is. I've heard this riddle in a tavern once.
Oh,
What haven't you?
no, go on.
Oh man, it's a coffin. Or at least that's the version that they spoke of. Perhaps this is related.
Could be.
So
That makes
I'm not
sense.
sure which one would make sense. But
I've never given anybody
How
a
about-
coffin.
how about the coffin rune?
I'm good with that.
I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever invented a wife.
I'm sure someone somewhere did.
I like you. I like you. Does anyone protest against the coffin, or does anyone else think that it's something else?
That's as good to try as any.
Girl, what's your name? The silver hair girl with the fox. I don't believe we've been formally introduced yet.
Fox is dodgy.
And your
Right.
name?
I just say.
I
It's
didn't hear.
fair.
Fair. Any ideas?
Coffin sounds good.
And you there, one with the quick jokes. Making fun of me and my parents' sister.
Well, nice to meet you. Name's Leary Ann. Friends call me Leary. But you can call me either, doesn't really matter. Just
Am I
don't
your
call me
friend?
anything else. I'm not sure. Do you want to be?
Sure. I like new friends.
Good. Just don't go down on me anytime soon. I like new friends too.
Fair enough, Larry. Saltil to everybody, by the way. Does anyone else
Saltil?
protest the
Yeah, sorry.
coffin? Saltil.
Silty. That's a strange name I never heard before.
Lots of strange things.
Let
Alright,
me see this
I'm going to
little
press
fancy
the
little
coffin.
box you got here.
Does this one press in the same?
It presses in.
Does the first one pop out on the other side?
Yeah,
No.
that one. No.
Okay.
You know, if it explodes, that hand's gonna go.
You know what? You can just keep it. I'm gonna sit over here in the corner.
I don't know if this will explode.
I hope it explodes.
3?
Yes.
Lighter than what I am made of, more of me is hidden than seen. I am the bane of the mariner, a tooth within the sea. Speak my name.
It's a fart.
Perhaps.
Heart
I like this one. We'll get on. Just
vein of a mariner. Okay.
Perhaps. Perhaps the air. Or something related to that.
I don't think air is lighter than lead.
Air is not on chart.
It is not on the chart.
No.
Damn.
Yes, it is. It's the first one. Oh no,
No,
you're
it's
right.
not.
I'm looking at the second one.
By the way, Thea, you're the only one who speaks Thessalonian, right? Does anyone else speak Thessalonian?
No.
No, sir.
I don't know how to
Nope.
get that, but I would like to.
Okay. By taking a rank of linguistics. Thea, you notice that, I won't say which, but some of the translations in the riddles, some of the word choices in the suggestions for the runes are slightly off depending on context. So be wary of context traps.
Does it look intentional?
No. It looks like the person who did this is a little rusty with their Thessalonian.
Okay.
How dare they?
So the riddles are kind of off, but not the markings, right?
No, some of the markings are as well. It's very minor. Like, it's not wrong per se. It's just like a slight misuse of a word, like what you'd see when somebody who doesn't natively speak English is trying to type English.
Can I take some coal that I have or something like that and just like write over it?
Not exactly, because in certain contexts, depending on the riddle, it could be correct. So basically, what I will do here,
Ow, 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 ow.
There's a pattern.
if you want to double check on something, just ask, like, is this one correct?
Mhm.
Contextually, I'll say, oh, that's a mistranslation or not. Just know that you have the power to double check on anything.
Perhaps,
And the.
Go ahead.
Nothing. There you go. Thank you.
Is this one correct or not? The translation?
Which one?
For, I don't even know how to ask what part, because...
Oh, the riddles, more or less, the riddles are correct. They're like, this is probably how you would translate them. Assume some of the words are a little off, and this is your translation thereof. It's the runes, the possible answers that are slightly. Some of them are a little like, well, no, that's not quite right.
Mm-hmm.
perhaps this is a pirate? I mean, that's the bane of most mariners. A tooth within the sea is something that could hurt you, or perhaps the translation's off and it means the jaws of the sea or something similar.
Sail.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
What else? Does anyone else have any ideas on this one?
This is all
Lighter
gibberish
than
to
what
me.
I'm made of. I think it's a sail, but I'm not a pirate or a sailor. It's not air. There's no air there. It's probably the wife.
Poetry, perhaps? It's not on there, but
Wife
one's,
is
one's
not
hopeful.
there.
Well, I'm not really sure what else to think of that one.
Speak
Skip
your
it
name.
and go to the fourth one.
Do you want me to press it?
You can.
For pirates,
No, skip it.
do you think we need to put these in order?
Well, we're
I
just.
guess is there a side to these or no?
I mean, you're just turning a cube
Yeah.
around,
Oh,
basically.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well
just
then let's.
flip it around.
Fair.
so-
Let's go to the next one then. Alive as you, but without breath, as cold in my life as in my death. Never a thirst, though. I always drink dressed in a mail, but never a cling. Odd. Alive as you, but without breath. It's cold.
Sione's got her journal out and she's just writing things down, sketching runes.
And I will say, if at any point all of you are ready to give up, you may attempt an intelligence check instead. But I figured you guys might prefer a little hands-on.
Let's play.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
smart.
Just letting you know that you do have a skip puzzle button.
Hell no.
Fuck that shit. We got this.
I'm not Ezrin.
Harsh.
Ouch.
Mean it like that, but won't take that.
Weird
This
flex,
one's
but
about-
Wait, go back to
Whoa,
4.
yeah, go back to 4. What are you doing?
What you doing?
What you doing?
I'm drawing these down. So
Yeah, I am too,
wait a
so.
second. So I have a better reference.
So I'm gonna go back to 4. Damn it.
Are you doing it?
Yeah, I'm doing it there.
This one's about the seasons.
What, number 4?
Yep.
What?
What makes you think that?
This winter, there's a wealth. There's a sale.
It's also fish.
Ghost?
It's a fish.
Think so. Dressed in mail. Oh, scales. Yes. You know what? That. I think you're onto something there. Shall we try fish?
No, not till we get 3.
But have you ever been slapped with a fish? It's cold.
You have? Why you no eat?
Oh, this group is already funny. I like it.
She's like deadpan serious. Like
I imagine.
she's not joking.
I imagine.
Paula's kinda going stare for stare with her.
Brandon's in the background whistling.
All right, so then let's move on to 5. Yes.
Okay.
The life I lead is mere hours or less. I serve all my time being consumed. I'm the quickest when thin, slowest when fat, and wind wind is the bane of the gift that I bring.
It's the thinnest rune.
If I lead is mere hours or less.
Look, it's the thinnest rune. It's a candle.
Okay. Is there any others that might fit for that?
I don't need to see all the other ones.
Sure, candle. Let's write that down. And number 6 then. Does everyone? Well, hold on. Does everyone agree with that before we press these buttons in the future?
Please no press yet.
Second the
Oh, I'll just press 2 more buttons and see what happens.
Look, if it's gonna explode, I would be happy to press the buttons.
No.
No.
Let's move on to the 6th side here that we haven't
Damn
figured.
it! I wasn't ready.
I'm sorry. I'll go back.
I said no.
I didn't press buttons yet. I'm just moving to that side. Let me know when you guys are ready.
Thessalonian's
Okay.
hard to draw real fast.
Yeah, it is. I'm ready.
I'm not. Okay, now.
Okay. I can have no color, though there may be darkness within. I have no weight and hold nothing. And if placed in a container, it becomes lighter.
It's a
That's
fart.
clearly a whale. What?
It's a fart.
Honestly, I think you're right on this one. It might be air.
It's a
Who
hole.
knows?
Yeah. That sounds like a hole.
This hole fit for this.
Just air
But
can't.
it's not with
There's
any of the
hole on
words in her notes.
The hole's on there.
It's the one that looks like a sickle.
Am I not looking at the right stuff?
More like a
Number six.
scythe than a sickle.
Ah,
Oh.
I mean, size is just perspective.
Does everyone agree a hole?
Or it could be a poetry.
No. No.
A container will definitely be lighter with poetry in it.
I find that words often carry weight with them.
Yeah, but poetry can have darkness.
How poetic.
Sun make you squint.
So, this whole work, we all agreed on that.
But it's not placed in container. Why would hole work?
Because there's less of the container.
I feel like air work better.
Wait. I know the answer to the third one.
Hmm.
It's ice.
I like that, actually. We'll have to return to that and see if that one actually fits for ice.
More of me's hidden than seen.
I like that.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
speak my name? I mean, that makes sense.
See, look at me. I'm being more useful already by the day.
Now we just need to find out 6.
Well, technically, you've only pushed 2 buttons thus far.
Well, why don't you push the ice and the hole and see what happens?
Well, does everyone settle that? Because I think it might be air, but... Because a hole could hold something, could it not?
I don't know.
Air can't really hold much.
But it.
So there's 5 of us, and there's 6 questions. Obviously, the little lady that can speak Thessalonian should do 2 of them. There we go. Problem solved.
We'll start pressing.
Are we going to
Ew,
return to...
back up. Yes, press.
We'll just press them.
Am I holding it, or is someone else holding it?
Here. I'll start pressing the buttons.
Oh, whoa. Make sure you're pressing the right ones.
You.
So flip to the
this is
side.
Gonna hurt us.
Yep.
It'll be
Alright,
fun if
who
it did.
knows? Okay, go ahead and press ice.
You push ice on side
Ice
3.
on third. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. It pushes in like a button.
I'll press
Side 4.
fish on 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It pushes in.
I'll come up and push the candle button on 5.
Handle pushes in.
Yeah. Which one on 6 are we picking?
Are we doing air or hole?
Let's try hole, I guess.
Hole?
Does anything in 6 seem wrong, Tim?
Well, which one specifically?
I would say hole. And an air, since we're fighting about them.
Hole is actually correct. It is a hole.
Yeah.
That not the answer, as in like that's how it is. That is translated correctly.
The air?
Oh.
Don't get
Oh.
excited. Air is also translated correctly.
See, I don't know when to ask these because there's so many markings.
If it helps,
Yeah.
ice was mistranslated. It was actually glacier.
Yeah.
Okay,
what I was
thank
Close
thinking.
enough.
I would have told him that and be like, oh, this mean that, by the way. One of my little markovers.
I'm voting for air, but perhaps I'm wrong.
Well, what's the worst that could happen?
Who knows?
Well, what am I pressing? I'm gonna.
Air.
Let's take it to a vote. Yes, I vote air.
Just do air. That's fine.
Fine. Push air.
You push air. The button pushes in.
Is pop open?
No.
Well, let's.
Check the rest of the buttons. Are any of them?
You know
Are they all
what? I'm
still
gonna
compressed?
keep pressing hole.
You push hole instead of air.
Yes.
Air depresses. Hole presses in.
Nothing.
Nothing
Is the
happens.
rest of the box, did any of them depress?
No. There is one button pressed on each side of the box.
Huh.
Wouldn't it be easier if they
did
had
we-
like a little sound if you got one wrong?
Did we solve the first one already?
Can we switch sun to darkness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you doing so?
Yeah.
Sure.
When you do that, something happens. So, just for you guys' benefit, for those of you who are the more OCD among you, you had answer 1 as darkness, answer 2 as coffin, answer 3 is ice, which Faya corrected to glacier. Answer 4, you had fish. Answer 5, you have candle. And answer 6, I'm sorry, Celtiel, you have a hole.
Yeah. Says hello is the sail.
So I think we got it all right, didn't we? Did we do number 4?
So those were your answers that I just read off. When you do this, there's like a little of dust out of the cracks at the top of the box. And as the box is opened, I have to move you back to Hyde March Manor and kill the
Yay.
music.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Oh no.
From inside the box, there's a glow, and then 2 creatures materialize in a flash of light right on the table. Where's the music? Make sure the volume isn't going to blow out your eardrums this time. And you see... Ashley, I am so sorry. I'm just going to say that right now.
Okay.
You see
It's the best team music.
2 of these.
Pugwampies?
Are you kidding me?
What are these?
They're about the size of a kitten. Both of them just perched on the table. They're little, like imp-like creatures, but with the head of a jackal. And they both kind of look around wildly on the table. And then each of them dives in a different direction. One leaping onto a bookshelf and beginning to yank books out of the shelf and just throw them on the floor. The other grabbing glasses and smashing them against the floor. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh boy.
Stilly, can I just leave the room?
Do you
Also-
not like these?
No.
Oh boy, are you in for a treat.
They are pieces of shit.
No, they're fantastic. Don't listen to her.
I rolled a 4.
I don't want to be in the same room as
Really?
this.
Do you want me
physically.
to roll a different initiative for Dragon?
Yes, and Dodgy also has his own initiative.
Yep, I'm getting there.
Ah,
Are they that bad?
wait.
Oh, you're about to be in for a real treat.
They haven't encountered them yet. You know what?
Also, I need each of you to roll initiative twice and take the lower result.
Ah, fuck.
The unluck.
I mean, I
bar.
can't roll lower.
Say
than
it,
what I
Stilly. Say it.
How unlucky.
No!
No,
Don't make me
still a
re-roll it, Tim.
You gotta.
It's a 4.
Damn it.
Damn.
Oh, I love pugwampies.
roll.
So you guys don't actually know what you're looking at beyond these little jackal-headed gremlins of some kind. Is that everyone? 1, 2, 3. 5, 6, 7. Someone's missing. Dodgy and Faya are missing.
I didn't select my token. That's why Faya is 1 and then Dodgy is 4.
Okay. I can put them in this time, but just for future reference, make sure you remember to do that.
I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna go find some Tylenol.
Oh, you're gonna need it. What did you say those initiatives were?
I'm natural 1 and then Dodgy is 4.
Oh no.
Ooh, that unluck is already getting you guys. You guys, all of you moved to go for them, but one of the papers thrown aside caused Faya to slide around on the floor and crack her shin against a chair. And the sound spooked Dodgy, who cat leaped in the air, spitting venom. Yeah, a little bit more, not at anything, just in shock and surprise. I am contractually obligated to say how unlucky. This pugwampy, the one currently highlighted. Which one is that? This one. Is going to grab... What's it going to grab?
By the way, my initiative is 4, not 8.
We're also still on the big map. Is that where you want us?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So this pugwampy is just going to grab a big handful of scrolls covered in Thessalonian runes and translations, and then just start tearing them into little tiny shreds and throwing them on the floor.
No.
So that is one act of vandalism. It is Dragon's turn. Wow. Even on disadvantage, Dragon's still 17.
Yeah, 19 and 17.
Really? Wow.
I think he's gonna scuttle out from under my arm. Who knows where he was? And he's gonna lunge at one of those little shits.
Which one?
I don't know. The one who's destroying the Thessalonian stuff.
The one, okay, so he's gonna move over here at this pugwampy, who's actually about the same size. Go ahead and make an attack against that pugwampy.
Okay.
Do it.
So that'd just be a melee bite.
And now could you roll a second time?
God damn it. There you go.
4 to hit.
Does that hit?
No. Dragon charges down your arm onto the table and then leaps through the air toward this pugwampy, and it kind of misses, hits a fork right on the table that the pugwampy is in, and the fork launches a candle that it had kind of gotten wedged under and sends the candle crashing right through a window. How unlucky.
Fucking
That would be 2 acts of vandalism. Lyrianne, it is your turn.
And I pull out my gun.
Oh, God.
Oh my god.
So she's going to pull out her gun, twirl it around her finger, and
Oh, me.
aim it at the pugwampy and shoot.
The one over by the windows?
No, the one next to her.
Oh, okay.
The one that hasn't acted yet, because I get a -4 to shoot them because Dodgy's in melee with them. Is he?
Dodgy is not in melee yet, actually.
Oh, sweet. So I don't get a penalty.
Dragon is in melee with the other one, though.
First attack.
Okay.
And second attack. All right, 22 it is.
Okay, 22 to hit. You actually do hit it. That's versus his touch AC as well.
That's versus
For
touch
9
and Flatfoot.
9 damage. That actually is reduced to 7 damage. Your bullet doesn't seem to be quite as effective as would be hoped. However, it still blows right through the pugwampy's skull, and it is dead. And it falls to the floor and then vanishes in a flash of light.
Alright, I was my move action to draw it, and it was my standard action to fire, so it is an unloaded pistol.
Okay. That was a deafening bang, though. And actually, it did blow a little chunk out of the wood in the bookshelf that pugwampy was clinging to. Saoni.
Oh. So there's that one dragon's attacking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna cast Fireball. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, I'm gonna cast Flare on it.
Flare. So you create a burst of light in front of this pugwampy. It gets a Fortitude save.
Stop this nonsense. I'm gonna. Yay! You're dazzled for 1 minute.
I need to look up real quick what Dazzled does. I think that's like -1 on something.
You're bedazzled.
I should move my Pathfinder DM screen up here.
I'll pull
Like
it up.
-2.
Okay, looking at it right now.
-1 on perception checks and attack rolls.
And attack rolls. Okay,
I
got
was
it.
hoping it was a little better than that, but okay.
So the pugwampy shrieks like a dog yelping, actually, and then starts whining and clawing at its eyes. Celtiel.
Well, seeing the one get absolutely obliterated in one shot, I feel like they got this handled. Is there anything valuable in here?
Make a perception check.
Alright, perception. Boop. I rolled a 13. +2 for half elf. Is that already in there?
That should be in there already.
Okay, cool.
I think.
It's not.
Oh no, it's not.
So 15?
Okay. I would just put that on your character sheet in with the miscellaneous benefits.
Oh, okay.
Just add 2 there. But 15, you can see that some of the candlesticks in here are silver. The books are, these are Pathfinder journals. These are probably worth 50 gold, if not more. There's some tomes detailing old runes and ruins, for that matter. Stuff like that. You don't see like a little lockbox or anything super valuable.
Okay. Nah. Alright.
Actually, wait a minute.
Oh,
I need you to roll a second perception check.
Well, because I'm unlucky. Okay. That's worse. So 12.
12. You start to take a look and you kind of bump into one of the bookshelves as you do, and a couple of books come off the top shelf, landing hard on your head, and that counts as an act of vandalism. How unlucky.
I'll pick up the book. Fuck.
And like rubbing your head, you look at it, it's like it's full of fables and stories from the elven kingdom of Keonan.
Nah, I'll just put it back on. Do I have anything else left with my turn?
That was a free action.
Oh. Alright. I don't know how much they have left, but I'll cast Daze on it.
Okay. Range is 25 feet. Let me just make sure you're in range. Just barely. Okay. So you cast Daze. You just kind of point a hand at the pugwampy and reach out with your mind, trying to cloud its senses. And it gets a will save. And it's been so long since I've uttered the phrase, it gets a will save. I'm used to 5th edition.
Utter shit.
Need to interrogate this thing.
15 against a DC of 13. It just kind of shakes its head, licks its lips, and then goes to breaks and damage something else.
Shit.
You want to move at all?
Yeah, I still have my movement, and I can still take an attack action with my...
That was your... So, in order to do that, you have to use spell combat, I believe.
Oh, do I have to declare spell combat then?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I'll let you do that. Just make sure in the future you let me know that that's what you're doing. Just so I know. Because I believe that gives you a -2 on everything.
Yes, it does for my attacks, like weapon attacks.
Yep.
Okay. I'll move there, and I'll attack with my long sword. Just kind
Excellent.
of just whap it on the head. And do you want me to roll twice,
I do.
or does it automatically roll twice?
No, please roll twice.
It's a 16 and a 12 on there.
What?
Does that?
I only see a 15.
Oh, okay. So 15 and a. Oh man, that 20 in there. Meh. 11.
And an 11. 11 is not going to hit the pugwampie. Instead, you hack right through a little decorative mirror that had been set there, shattering glass and sending fragments of that glass all over Feya's dress. She's going to be picking
shit.
bits of glass out of it for days. How unlucky.
Sorry.
That also counts as an act of vandalism,
Oh my god.
which brings you guys up to 4.
Why are you keeping track of this?
I don't know why. Stop.
Dodgy.
Saji's gonna look at Feya and she's just gonna whistle to go after it, and I would do that, but I don't know how. So, thank you. So he's gonna go in up on the table and dart for a bite.
Okay.
So I find bite. Where is
Please
that?
roll twice.
I just imagine dodging.
No, you do have +2 to hit because you are flanking it.
Okay.
Actually, nope, you are not flanking because Feya has not yet acted in combat. When it is your turn,
Wait,
you will be
Dragon's
flanking them. Oh, Dragon is there. You're right. You are flank. Well, okay. Yeah, I guess you can flank. So +2 to hit, but roll twice. Nice! 18 will hit. For 1 point of damage, which is reduced to 0 because of its skin, unfortunately, Dodgy's fangs can't break through the skin on this little thing, of which you know nothing of it.
So what about?
Poison only applies if it takes at least 1 point of damage. Unfortunately. So Dodgy bites down on this little thing's arm, and it just kind of flicks it in the nose, and Dodgy's forced to let go.
Can Daji make any type of check?
Dodgy cannot, but you will you are able to do so on your turn.
Well, I just meant because he's very he's not an actual fox. That's why.
Correct. He is intelligent, but
wasn't to,
familiars,
relate.
animal companions, and such typically don't really get the knowledge checks.
Okay. This is gonna be one of those tell me later type things.
Okay. I'll think about it. Well, that brings it to Olach.
Blush is gonna pull out his great sword.
Oh god.
Oh no!
In front of the table, just gonna slam it down. He's gonna pull the chair and he's gonna sit down. And he's just gonna stare at this imp.
Oh, could you roll a second time, please?
Yes, sir.
It rolls twice.
12.
Roll 20.
The DC is 10 plus the target's hit dice plus its wisdom.
So if it's a wisdom higher than 1.
He has 1 hit die,
Mm-hmm.
so it's 11. It is a DC 13. Wait, no, I think it's yours, right?
No, that's against theirs. The check is equal to 10.
Oh, I see. So it's a
Yeah.
DC 13. Oh, so you failed. Ah. So as you sit in this chair and glare
It breaks.
horribly at this, one of the legs of the chair breaks out from under you and spills you prone on the floor. How unlucky. That is your 5th act of vandalism.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
You can't even sit down
Now
safely.
you understand.
That's hilarious.
Is that it for your turn, Olach, or would you like to pick? Well, yeah, you can use your movement to get up, right? It's a move action to
Yeah.
get up from prone.
Yeah.
Would you like to get up?
Yep.
Okay. Feya, it is your turn.
Feya's gonna sigh. What is this thing? What kind of check? Nature check?
This would be a knowledge nature check. and you'd have to roll twice. Oh, how lucky for you.
Jesus.
How lucky.
Okay, so this is a pugwampie, a type of fey creature, a gremlin specifically. They are mischievous and almost multiversally reviled. They worship gnolls as gods, but gnolls actually hate them and see them as vermin due to their aura of bad luck. The bad luck they bring is infamous and notorious. It goes beyond simple bad luck. It can cause devastation. Left unchecked, a group of pugwampies in a camp can literally cause the whole camp to burn down. They wreak carnage and chaos wherever they go. They are wholly evil, not very smart. Their one weakness is cold iron, much like most fae.
Oh my god. I was having an idea as you said that, so I'm like a little excited.
You know they can see in the dark. You know that they usually have little daggers and short bows, not that they'll do much damage. And that they are capable of casting Shatter and Speak with Dead. Or, I'm sorry, Speak with Animals once per day. Any other questions? Oh, you know that their fortitude is weak, but their reflex and will is quite strong. They are nimble and resilient mentally despite their low intellect.
Okay.
Very weak.
Well, I had the idea of
Oh.
smacking it with my iron pot.
Technically, whoever cast Flare and Daze, you guys got off easy. I missed a mechanic. They are also spell resistant. There's a partial chance that any spell cast on them just fails.
Wow.
Old iron is different than regular iron. It's a very
But I
good
just
iron.
thought it was funny because I was staring at it and he said they were weak to it, so that's why I giggled. I know it's not cold iron, but I am still gonna smack it with the pot. So
Okay, good luck. At this point, you guys have pretty thoroughly destroyed Sheila Hyde March's library, though.
Oh, you guys. Hey, I want to get out of that. I haven't broken anything.
Okay, but go ahead. Make your attack roll.
how would I do an attack roll with this?
Okay, what is it you're swinging?
I am just trying to
Provide
smack it with
weapon.
the pot.
Improvised weapon.
Yeah, I don't have
I
that on
think
me.
that would just be a strength attack. So it would be your base attack bonus, which is 0, plus your strength modifier, and that's it. But you would have +2 to hit. Oh, that's right, +2 because you're flanking.
So you, strength check?
And the damage would be 1d4 plus your strength modifier.
I don't have a strength modifier.
Oh, well then it'll be 1d4 if you hit. And the second one?
Please roll high.
17. You still manage to hit
Wow.
with the frying pan.
1d4 plus
1d4 damage, that's it.
3.
Well done. You hit it for 1 point of damage. As the pot bang right against it, and it kind of knocks it senseless. Its tongue hangs out of its mouth for a moment, and then it seems to come to.
I will say it weak to cold iron.
Oh boy. Let me take a quick glance at its tactics one more time.
Larry says, yeah, the weak to lead too.
Lyrian. Okay, first of all, he's going to grab a candle and start chewing on it like gum. And as he's just smacking on it, he draws a little dagger. And he is going to attack Fea. He's just going to shriek and jump right at you with this little dagger, still chewing on that.
God, what a
Does that
freak.
provoke then? How does that work again?
He's not moving, so no, it wouldn't provoke.
Okay.
Natural
it.
1.
Say
Fumble.
it.
He jumps at you, and you, once again with the frying pan, you kind of bring it back the other way and knock him back against the the dresser that he's lying on, and he just kind of spits out the partially chewed up candle on the floor, shakes his head, and gets up.
How unlucky.
Nuh-uh. That only works when you guys fail.
I seem pretty unlucky.
Dragon.
So that didn't provoke from Dragon.
It did not provoke from Dragon.
Well, Dragon's gonna lunge at him and try to fight him again.
Good luck.
I'll need it. Did it roll
5.
twice?
Yep.
Oh.
Dragon launches for him, and just as he kind of moves, Dragon goes right out the window
What? No!
and into the hedge.
We're on the first
How
floor, right?
unlucky. Yes, you are on the first floor.
Okay.
First combat familiar launches out of a window.
I will say, this borders on actual cruelty that they would make the first encounter in the adventure with pugwampies.
I'm okay with that. We're not
Also,
getting hurt. We're just breaking everything.
actually, that doesn't count as any vandalism.
The window was already broken.
Yeah, the window was already broken.
A
So-
snake wouldn't have broke a window. I mean,
That brings it to Lyrianne.
Lyrianne's going to use her move action to reload her pistol.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to fire. Right into that big old crowd.
Oh, boy. So this is going to be at -4 to hit.
-4.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
Your gun doesn't fire. There's just a...
It's a misfire.
And when you move to check it out, the bullet suddenly discharges and breaks a vase. Fortunately, it didn't hit anybody, but it did shoot and hit a vase. But now it's fully broken or jammed. That makes six vandalism, and I am required contractually to say, how unlucky.
I am going to... Where is it? Okay, never mind. I can't do anything else with that. Actually, no. I'm going to spend a grit point to perform a quick clear.
Okay.
So the gun's no longer broken.
Okay, so you are able to fix it. You did still lose the one piece of ammunition because it still managed to fire
Is there an easier
and
way
break
to,
a vase.
to track ammo than going to my equipment? It's going -1.
I don't know. I'm not very familiar with these character sheets, unfortunately.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, well, okay. Seoni.
I'm gonna cast Magic Missile.
I see. So I'm going to
That's
need you to make a caster level check against their spell resistance.
Okay. What do I roll?
Your 1d20 plus your level.
Is there no button for that?
Probably not. Check on your spells tab. There might be like a caster level check.
What's this?
That's it. Could you roll a second one, please?
Aw, man, I got an 8.
Roll a second one, please.
Okay.
8.
Let's go with that.
Unfortunately, 8 will still bypass their spell resistance. Barely.
Oh. Yay.
Barely. Your magic missile connects for 5 force damage. A single orb launches from your hand, kind of spirals through the air. The pugwampie, in the middle of grabbing something like it's getting ready to throw a book, turns and looks just as the bolt strikes it right in the head, snapping its neck around, and then it lands with a thud on the table and vanishes in a flash of light.
And then 5 more spawn?
No.
No,
Remember when I promised I would never throw Pugwampie at you two ever again? I'm so
what
sorry.
happened?
Liar!
I'm
You're
so
a
sorry.
dirty liar.
I didn't know.
I'm holding that against you.
I didn't know. Apparently there's Pugwampies in this adventure.
Lies.
You can hear shouts of alarm out in the hall and approaching footsteps. You have about 6 seconds. What do you guys do?
Do I have
I'm gonna
mending?
sit back down in the chair.
There's technically only like 3 chairs left.
I'm taking a chair.
Okay.
Polish will
I'm gonna
nonchalantly lean against the wall.
gonna walk over here.
I'm gonna try to put books back where they should be.
Just
poofed away,
a
right?
reminder that the pugwampies left no bodies behind.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
What does the coffer look like?
The paradox box.
Yeah.
As you
So,
quickly rush and kind of tip it up to look inside, you can see that there are 3 garnets inside. Excuse me. And a really high quality relic silver dagger, as well as a little ring.
I'll continue to hold the coffer. I won't like take anything yet. But yeah, I'll just hold the coffer. Just looking at the items.
Okay, so you want to like dump them on what's left of the table?
No, I'll keep them in. I'll keep them in the coffer, but I'll just have the coffer in hand.
Okay. The door suddenly bursts open, and Sheila marches in with Karaya right behind her. You can see Karaya has a hand on the hilt of her bastard sword. Sheila holding the cane up, like, looking about. Whatever happened?
I'm gonna turn to them. This is exactly what it looks like.
But
Explain yourselves.
Well, we got the box,
We solved
Open.
the puzzle.
but the
It
puzzle
was
doesn't.
trapped.
It was trapped.
Of course it was. Look at my library.
Lyrianne's gonna
I'm
walk in
sure
through the
it's-
north.
Fine.
Oh God, what happened in here?
I'm just gonna give
What did you
Miriam
do?
an eyebrow. Just
Miriam,
like,
make a bluff check.
come on now.
Oh,
honey.
no.
there's a bullet hole in a wall.
yeah.
You can't prove that.
There's also a loud bang that went off.
Oh jeez. I am appalled. I trusted you.
Save your deceptions. It's not your fault. I should have anticipated a trap. Oh, those were priceless books.
I'm gonna go over to the window
It's fine.
and grab Dragon.
I asked you to open the box, and well,
Well,
You
perhaps
did.
whatever's inside of it can make up for your loss of books.
no, that's yours for the trouble. I need to sit down.
Oh.
By the way, I broke this chair.
It's okay. It's all right. What did all of this? What was the nature of the trap?
Pugwampy.
Like
Pugwampies. That explains a lot.
What are pugwampies?
Yeah, what the hell's a pugwampy?
Vermin.
Oh, rant.
Verminous little gremlins who cause havoc like this.
Unlucky.
Surely you noticed the string of bad luck afflicting you.
No. I know
An
unlucky.
explosion? That would have been a lot more fun.
I don't know about that, Olaf.
Pariah, my dear, thank you for being here. You may go. I wish to speak with them. And the half-elven woman nods, smiles, and then bows to you politely, to your group.
I'll bow back. I'll
Good
like,
luck!
Have fun.
And she leaves, closing the door kind of gingerly behind her. The whole scene around you it's wreckage. There's books tossed about, tattered sheets or tattered bits of scroll. So, side note, in 5th edition, this was not a mechanic, but in Pathfinder, in order to determine the value of something, there is a skill called appraise.
I got that.
Well, you don't have any ranks in it, but I believe you have a bonus from your trait in it.
Yes, I do.
So like those garnets, in order to appraise them, someone would have to make an appraise check. Now, another mechanic in Pathfinder that is not in 5th edition, if you have time and you are not in any imminent danger, you can do what's called taking 10. which basically means you don't roll, and instead you just assume you got a 10 on the die for something that you have all the time in the world for, and there are no consequences of rolling a 1 or of failing. You can also take 20, which assumes that you keep attempting over and over again, and you get every result on the d20 from 1 to 20. So any situation where that's okay, you can take 20, but it usually takes a little longer.
Like picking a lock.
Or appraising 3 garnets.
Yes.
And this dagger.
And the dagger, yes. So, Faya, let me ask you now. Actually, no, right now probably isn't the time. Later, just remind me of that. You may want to appraise those and just take 20 on them. But for now, you guys have an unidentified dagger, 3 garnets, and a ring.
Do we get to keep the box?
No, I wish to keep the box, but its contents are for you.
I'll dump them on the table.
Once one adjusts to the mess, I can see that it could have been much worse. Granted, that vase was very important to me and contained my mother's ashes, but...
Mending.
It is quite all right. I can fix it. First, I would like to apologize for the unpleasantness that you just had to face. But I don't see any pugwampies. That does provide an excellent object lesson. The life of an adventurer is not one for the weak-hearted. That you not only took care of the gremlins, but also got the box open in the first place is all the confirmation I need that my gut was right about you 5. You're the perfect group for the job I have in mind. And it seems that you've all gotten to know each other quite intimately in this time. That is perfect. You see, I've recently had trouble with one of my informants here in Magnumar. One Natalia Van Kaskerkin. She's a half-Varisian who recently approached the Pathfinder Society with an offer to serve as a street informant. She runs with the Scarny. I'm not sure which group. And Celtiel, you alone are allowed a knowledge local check to see if you know her. Do you have ranks in that, by the way?
No. I don't.
Okay. So the highest you can get is a 10, but in this case...
11.
10. So you got a 10. You've heard the name in passing, but you don't know her. She's a half-Varisian. No, she said that already. 1 week ago, Natalia sent me a cryptic hint that her gang was on the verge of uncovering an item that would be of great interest to the society. Since the Scarny's methods of uncovering something often involves an armed robbery or breaking into somebody's personal chambers, we thought it prudent not to press for further details, and instead wait to see what it would produce. Suffice to say, she hinted strongly that it pertained to Thassilon, and promised to meet with me to discuss this finding 3 days ago. She did not keep her promise. Instead, it seems she has vanished. Initially, I assumed that the acquisition of this item was simply taking longer than I'd expected, but now I'm hearing rumors that the Scarny are looking for her as well. It appears likely that Natalia has absconded with this item she's discovered, and this is where you enter, my new friends. I want to know what it was that Natalia and the Scarny found. In fact, I'm more interested in it than in what happened to Natalia herself. For now, I'd like to keep all of this quiet. If you can find out what happened to Natalia without letting a lot of people know she was also working for me as an informant, that would be preferable. If we could retain her as an asset, that would be beneficial. That's a big part of why I'm coming to you as new members of the society. You don't yet have a reputation here in Magnimar, and as such, the lowlives and criminals you are likely to encounter may be more likely to talk. Any questions?
For our services, what is our pay? I mean, these gifts are nice, but that's a good start.
If you can secure the item, bring it back to me, and I will reward you with 500 gold pieces.
A piece?
No, I'm afraid not.
Had to try.
But if you can bring Natalia back alive for me to talk to, I will double it.
Oh, I like them odds.
That's 1,000 gold sales.
Gotcha.
So my pocket's looking a little light up front. Can we get a little promise pay so we can go get some equipment?
Very well. I will give you 100 gold ahead of time. But the rest, only on delivery of the item and Natalia. Does that sound fair?
That seems rightly fair.
The item
A
be
good
staying
startup.
with You?
What was that?
The item be staying with you?
Well, yes, let us just say I have a vested interest in it and I would like to do some research. But if my suspicions are correct, let us just say that we might have further work for you and far greater promise of riches.
Would you be willing to share that research?
One step at a time. You are very new here, and I would like to find out what all the fuss is about before we jump to any conclusions.
I suppose that's fair.
Faye is gonna nudge Sione as like, yeah, good.
Now, as Pathfinder Society members, is this something sanctioned by them, or is this something that you just want us to do, that you're paying us to do?
Well, as I am the venture captain of the Pathfinder's Lodge here in Magnumar, it is officially sanctioned on my authority. So you may assume you are acting under the protection and authority of the Pathfinder Society. That said, it would be best if you not pull rank on any of the lowlifes you are speaking with. As I said, subtlety in this matter is important to me. As
Sione
is discretion.
will just narrow her eyes at Celtiel.
Well,
You can
looks
have-
like you
Is there-
got the right amount of folks do the job for you. Sooner we get done, the faster get paid.
And the happier I will be, of course.
Yeah, that too.
Is there a contract we're signing for this gold that you're promising us?
Oh no. You've already signed all the contracts when you joined the society. I don't think there's any more need for that on a scenario-to-scenario basis. The
Fair
contracts we have are good enough. Just, let us just say that when all of your adventures are complete, perhaps take good notes and deliver those to me. I will compile them and present them to the Grand Lodge in Absalom. And that is how it works within the society.
Fair enough.
Sounds
Is there
good
any
to
place
me.
that we should start looking for this, Natalia?
Well, I cannot say, but she was half Parisian, so perhaps you could ask around. Let's see. Oh, okay. Actually, never mind. She does have some advice. The Scarni are a rather nasty element within Magnumar, and as she did participate in a Scarni gang, it would not hurt to track down some of them and speak with them. They're not the most dangerous or powerful of the city's criminal organizations, but they are the most visible. The Scarni generally don't involve themselves in particularly violent crimes, and in many cases in Magnumar, they actually help to protect and police the less fortunate neighborhoods, like in Ordelia or Beacon Point. You will find that many of the lower class will be slow to turn them over to you if they suspect that you are trouble for their protectors. There are 6 Scarni gangs operating within the city, though I do not know which one Natalia was a part of. There are the Creepers, Doolin's Lads, the Gallowed, the Tower Girls, the Washside Ringers, and the Wreckwash Blades.
That's
the
a
Gallowed
lot of,
are
it's a lot of folks that cause a lot of trouble in the city.
Naturally. I suspect you can rule out the Gallowed. They are one of the most powerful Scarni. They are the most powerful Scarni in the city and one of the most powerful families within Varizia. I don't believe Natalia would be a part of them if she was informing for me.
Can you repeat those names, please?
Yes, there are the Creepers. There are Doolin's Lads. The Gallowed. The Tower Girls. The Washside Ringers. And the Wreckwash Blades.
Thank you.
When she first approached me with her offer to join us, she did engage the aid of a man known as the Amazing Zograthi, a Verizian. I believe he has a permanent tent and a fortune-telling business in Washer's Row. You'll find it in Darkway, at the end of a narrow alley, which serves as some kind of a street fair.
Question for Mr. DM.
Mhm.
Have I ever heard of this guy? Like,
The Amazing Zograthi?
yeah, because I've been hanging out in the city enough, and I'm trying to figure out.
You can make a knowledge local check. Though, do you have any ranks in it?
I
How do you
do.
spell his name?
You do.
Yeah,
I'll put that in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
I have one rank in it.
Okay, so you can get whatever you roll is what you get.
Please let the dice be with me. Yeah.
Okay, you know that the Amazing Zograthi is kind of a shyster who often works as a middleman between Scarny and outsiders.
What's a
He
shyster?
expects a trickster
Okay.
or a
Charlatan.
con man. He's not a real fortune teller. He is not magic at all, but he's sort of the city's equivalent to a shoe shiner. If you want
Okay.
information, you can get it from him, but you'd better have gold to cough up for it. If you want to talk to the Scarny, you would know that approaching him is a good way to get in with them if you can pay.
Yeah.
I should
So-
warn you, in your search, you may be going into some dark alleys and shady locations. You should be on the watch. There have been rumors of late that there are Nidalese slavers prowling the streets.
Oh,
And if these are true, being abducted by a slaver in the middle of the night would actually explain Natalia's absence, but it could be trouble for you as well. If the Scarny don't know what has become of her, that might be another location you could find her.
In a dark alley.
Yes.
Stolen by slavers.
Well, then if you can track down these Nidalese slavers, you might find something. Or you might find nothing. But if nothing else, I'm sure the Lord Mayor would reward you for taking down that threat.
excellent. I think we should go there first.
And finally, if you can't find her anywhere else, if the Scarny don't have her and the slavers don't have her, maybe check in at the Arvin Soar, the garrison for the city's watch. Maybe they know something, though I've learned not to trust the city watch in this city to do their jobs competently. They have turned me away numerous times in the past. I would imagine their competence has not changed much.
Okay.
Is there anything else I can do to help you?
Well, we know where to look, and we know who we're looking for. That's really all we need.
I cannot impress upon you how important it is that that item be returned to me, or be brought to me, if it is what I think it is. Well,
What do you think it is?
let's not get ahead of ourselves. Something which could lead you all to much greater riches, if I can but confirm it.
Like, Lyrian's ears twitch. Riches, you say?
I do.
Oh,
And fame and fortune.
Hmm.
Is there anything we should know to say to her? So she knows we're with you.
like a password?
Take this. She's going to hand you her wayfinder. Show her this. She will know it is mine. I expect that returned to me. If you wish for wayfinders of your own, you will have to earn them with a little bit of prestige, but I would say that bringing back Natalia and this item would go a long way towards that.
Understood. Then perhaps we best get going. Prowl the city. See what we can find.
Quite so.
Tips her hat to her.
She'll nod. Actually, she'll kind of bow politely to you, and she'll show you to the door.
I'll bow. Lady Hyde,
Celtio.
and I'll walk out.
So we need to go find the
We need to find the Scarny, which,
Why not just look for Socrates?
I suppose we can start there, and I believe that's where she actually said that
Yeah.
we should start.
Wait, where y'all want to start?
The amazing Zography.
My
They
thoughts
kind
exactly.
of like one of these things. Amazing.
The
but-
amazing Zography.
But her face is deadpan.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have heard of him. Kind of a con artist down there. Says he does all fancy psychic readings, but doesn't even know this from that. Just does his best guess taking money.
Sounds like a quick way to make a profit.
And a quick way to make an enemy, too. He just tends to stay below the radar and all that good stuff. He only targets people that don't really hold grudges.
Hmm.
Isn't he lucky? To about to meet us.
Well, let's go pay him a visit. It's been a while since I've seen him.
I suppose
Yeah.
you'll take the lead on this then.
Oh, I thought y'all never asked. This is kind of where I shine at. And she just kind of, like, flicks her collar up.
So because you succeeded in the knowledge check, I have added his location to the map. You're moving through Magnumar, and I'd like to take this opportunity to talk a little about the city of Magnumar. Picture a city built on a bluff overlooking the Varisian Sea. It's laid out along the top of the bluff, as well as at the base, and a massive 400-foot-high cliff cuts the city in half. So there's the upper city, known as the summit, and the lower city, called the shore. Thank you. Yes, I cannot actually display that, but that is Magnimar.
Yeah, wow.
The Yandabakari River cuts through the not southern. I'm sorry, that is oriented wrong. The western side of the city, draining into the Varisian Sea, but the few buildings over there to the west of the river are Ordelia, and this district is the foreign quarter. It's the part of the city where gnomes, halflings, tieflings, etc., half-orcs, where they go to live, and where they are welcomed. You can also find some really exotic shops over there. Moving along the south of the shore, there's Keystone and Low Cleft. These two parts of the city are where the major religions operate out of. There are churches to Iomade Sarenrae, a recently opened church. Calistria, Caden Kalian, Abadar, and other gods. What is that?
Other orientation.
Oh, yes, that's excellent. There are Dockway and Beacons Point to the north, districts where the poor or lower middle class live. In Beacons Point, you'll find the largest population of Varisians and Shoanti. And then there's the Irespan. Jutting out from the top of the bluff, out over part of the Varisian Sea, is a broken fragment of an ancient giant bridge of massive proportions built. Just looking at the map, the bridge is 650 feet wide.
It's not there anymore.
Most of it is gone, but this bridge once led somewhere out into the Varisian Sea. Who knows what it crossed or where it led. Spoiler alert, it led to Hollow Mountain. Which Celtiel and Olach would actually know since they've been to Hollow Mountain. This massive bridge is one of the most famous Thessalonian landmarks in all of Varisia. And though the top of the bridge is connected with the summit and the capital district where the government of Magnumar rules, part of the city is also built on the shore underneath the bridge. This is the slummiest part of Magnumar, and is called Underbridge. This is where a lot of the Scarni operates, as well as Dockway. So, in order to get to this point, from the Alabaster District, you have to take some streets through the Capital District into Naus, or however the hell I don't know how you pronounce that. Alvin, can you spot me?
Spot you with what?
Naos. Would that be Naus?
They all.
don't know in what kind of language is being used under.
Hell if I know. We're going to go with Nos for this setting. If someone knows better, feel free to leave us a comment or a message, and I will correct myself. But at the northern part of the cliff's edge, near where the base of the bridge begins, is a steep footpath that leads down and then winds back the other direction, going even further down to Dockway. This path, which you have to take if you want to get to the shore, takes you past one of Magnumar's famous monuments. The monuments of Magnumar are why it is known as the City of Monuments. Legend holds that if you meditate before these artistic depictions and sculptures, that the spirits of Magnumar will bless you with some kind of a benefit. Most people don't get anything from it, but certain experienced Pathfinders never leave the city without stopping to meditate at this statue or that. Sione knows by default, so I will mark this one, and she can point it out to you as you pass, that right here is a statue known as the Eyes of the Hawk. And this one, this statue is apparently not listed on my list. Whoopsies. Well, it depicts a group of adventurers, most prominently 2 elven archers, back to back with bows pointed high into the air. And there's a little epitaph at the base of it that offers some history of this statue. But as you continue down past this landmark into Dockway proper, the buildings are no longer so glamorous and gleaming. In place of white spires and silver streets, there's a lot of mud and broken cobblestone, taverns, the smell of the sea and of dock workers, brutish, thuggish types of men and women who shoulder through the crowds. Closer to the actual docks themselves, you find little temporary shops set up or vendor stalls, colorful tarps, and exotically dressed artisans selling wares from distant foreign countries. The road you take takes you into Beacon's Point, however, the home of the Verizians in Magnimar. And where is it? Washer's Row, specifically, is this colorful patch over here. It's a tangle of open-air washhouses, launderers, and Verizian wagons and tents, while the bulk of those who live and toil here seem to do so in the laundry and tailoring businesses. Do I have something for this? I thought I had a different... I guess I don't. Oh, I gotta get after that. Okay. So you move past numerous brightly colored wagons and vendors and Verizians selling this and that, or Verizians who can kind of call out to you. They can fix your jacket, sell to you. You get offers to make you a new tunic or a scabbard for your lovely sword. You guys can't shake the feeling as you move through here that every one of these people is sizing you up, checking what of value you carry, watching you for...
Can I growl at them?
Certainly. Go ahead and make an intimidate check.
Oh, yeah!
I will be holding Dodgy.
I want to be sneering and helping
Okay.
intimidate
You
him.
aid, that gives him plus... Or you can roll an intimidate check. If you get a 10 or higher, you give him +2 on his check. That's how aid works.
Those are already added in there.
Okay. Go ahead, Celtial.
Oh, if I get higher. Sorry.
Yep.
intimidate.
So you got to get a 10 or better to aid.
Here we go.
Okay.
Ooh,
So that's 24. Most of the Varisians very quickly leave you alone, and as Olach snarls and Celtiel, you flash steel, and they get the idea very quickly that you are not foreigners to be trifled with. At the southern end of Washer's Row, a tattered banner hanging over the entrance to the small side street advertises Professor Calaverio's stupendous expedition of the outrageous and sublime. Beyond this overly exuberant advertisement is a squalid setup consisting of little more than a series of rundown sideshow booths and carts with assorted games and amusements of the meaner sort. Like betting on which rat will kill which rat. Rat fighting, cockfighting, dog fighting, working its way up to bigger and nastier things. Games of chance. You see one Varisian with mostly missing teeth replaced by gold and silver teeth, who's got a ball that he puts under a cup and shuffles around on the table for people to try to guess which cup he's put the ball under. Stuff like that. To one side, urchins pitch pennies at lily pads floating in a small, scum-covered fountain, while a bored carny looks on. Nearby, the sound of cats hissing and fighting arises from behind a cart, where a small crowd of ne'er-do-wells is gathered to cheer and place bets. Oh, cats fighting. That's lovely.
Everything fighting.
Everywhere lurk faces pinched with suspicion or hunger. Expressions worn by carnival workers and visitors alike. This is not the sort of place to be careful with a coin pouch. Careless. To be careless.
We don't want to be
The opposite
careful.
of what-
Who wants
the opposite.
some money?
Yeah, the opposite of that. Sorry. What do you guys do?
On our way there. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go.
Oh, on our way there, I'm going to put on the ring of Featherfall.
Okay. Who has that dagger, by the way?
Faya.
I think
Yeah,
I took
it
it.
is.
Okay.
Because you
Tiny
don't
Do you like
dagger.
to know where I'm
Tiny girl.
putting it?
So,
And who has those 3 garnets? Those weigh 1 pound apiece, by the way.
I have to put all that in my inventory if no one's gonna take it.
I'll take one of them if you want to hold all of them.
How about I take one, you take one, Faya takes one.
Just make sure you guys mark that they are worth 50 gold each.
Sure. Put that in there.
I'm putting it in a special place.
50 gold pieces. They weigh how much? 1 pound?
1 pound apiece.
Okay.
How much did that Wayfinder weigh? A pound?
Oh, that'd be a compass. Let me double check. Actually, wait a second. What am I talking about? I can just look that up right here. I've got a card for that. The Wayfinder weighs 1 pound.
Okay.
With my background as an ex-Scarny, would I know if anyone Scarny related is following us, or any markings that might be around, or anything like that that I would kind of be able to pick out and be like, oh yeah, it's where we used to hang out.
So I'm going to need you to make a knowledge local check. I know you don't have ranks in it, but for this one, I will allow you to keep whatever result you get, even if it's above 10,
Okay.
because you have some experience with this.
Ah,
Unfortunately,
fine.
you didn't really roll with this part of town. You were probably more with the Scarny and Underbridge.
Gotcha.
So you don't really know these guys.
Okay. So, where's this fellow that we're looking for, the amazing Zograthi? I believe you said that you knew where he was, Leary.
I got an idea, a little ballpark where he might be, but that fella kind of gets around.
As far as you know, he's supposed to be in a tent here somewhere. That's about as far as you can track. You'd have to look around or ask for him here. Like, I would imagine you've never seen him personally. You just know
No.
this is where he can be found.
I just heard of him.
Mhm.
I want to ask somebody.
Okay. You find a stooped old barker with a retching cough who's just kind of and you kind of grab him by the shoulder, and he looks at you, and you see that he's actually got one eye missing from its socket.
Nasty.
We're looking to get our fortune told by a amazing Zograthi.
And he points to a tent, maybe 3 or 4 tents from where you're at. It's a small, well-patched tent, crudely painted with mystical symbols and decorated with chicken bones and other oddments.
Oh, shit. Thank you for your help. Maybe you might want to get that looked at. She's going to point to his missing eye. And
Get it looked at.
He grumbles something in Verizian and goes back to what he was doing.
What did I hear him say? Because I can speak Verizian.
It was... Now, the Verizian language is very wordy. They will usually say... If they can say something in 2 words, they'll say it in 30. But it basically boils down to fuck off.
Saltil looks a little grossed out, and he's already backing up, but he just kind of smirks as he turns and walks away.
Tiani will shake her head at him again.
She's gonna start making her way to the room and like give a little.
Okay. So, all of you are entering the stuffy little tent, right? Or is anyone staying outside?
Does it smell dirty?
This whole area smells like month-old dirty laundry and body odor.
Are there any like good-smelling things coming from the tent? Like, does it smell
Incense.
Like... Okay, then I'll go in the tent.
You know what? Is there anyone here that looks king at us, like eyeing us?
Given the intimidation that you and Celtiel are giving off, they're mostly keeping clear of you guys.
I'll be at the entrance of the tent, at least within earshot.
Though the fellow with one eye is definitely keeping that one eye on you since you went towards the amazing Zograthi. You get the sense that everybody here, though they're seeming to pay attention only to their games of chance and winning money off of the ignorant, you get the sense that they have a general awareness of you. Almost like a communal awareness of what you guys are doing.
So
I'll go in.
So Olach, Celtiel goes in. I heard
Seoni
Faya
will-
say something. Lyrian's going in.
Mm-hmm.
And Faya and Seoni, what are you two doing?
Going in.
Faya?
I'll be at the entrance, like at least within earshot of conversation, but I still want to stay, more so in the shadows if I can.
Mm-hmm.
If
That's
any.
pretty easy in this dark, dingy alley.
Yeah, like I
Um,
don't want to. Trying not to be as noticed as, the half-orc, so.
Okay. And the mystical symbols painted on his tent, it's actually really silly. They would be like the equivalent of somebody using pagan runes, just the most generic possible. Like, there's a rune for rain, there's one for moon. It's so cliche, it almost... To Faya in particular, it probably almost causes physical pain.
To her in particular?
Well, Faya and Seoni, actually. Faya, who's an actual witch, and Seoni, who's an actual Verizian. This is a tourist trap.
I'll look
Ola
at
doesn't
Sione.
know that, but can he
This
check
has
to
been
see if there's
salty.
actually magic there?
Yeah, make a knowledge arcana check.
Well, just want to see if there's
Oh,
So
detect magic.
I was about to do
Okay.
the same thing.
Something I should mention, by the way, it's fine in this case, but so you guys are aware, it is considered extremely bad form to go into a store and start casting detect magic. You
Is
can
this a
do it,
store?
but typically you want to either A, ask permission, or B, do it secretly. Because if it's insulting to the storekeeper, usually.
Right.
Just so you're aware of that.
Well, is he in here?
Yeah, I haven't gotten to describing the interior of the tent yet.
Oh, okay. In that case, no, we will not do that. If
Okay.
That's okay.
When you step into this stuffy, cluttered tent, immediately the stink of cheap incense is cloying to your nostrils. It's over the top. It's the cheapest incense you can get, and you kind of it's very distracting. Within the tent is a table covered in blue velvet which is stitched with moons, stars, and other arcane symbols. Again, for those of you who can read magic, the symbols are really crude. They're things like wolf, moon, future. It's absurd. There's a dusty crystal ball and a dog-eared harrow deck sitting upon it. And I believe all of you know what a harrow deck is by this point.
What is it?
Like a deck of tarot cards, but Varisian. It's for our viewers, so they know. Behind this table sits an aged, bald Varisian man with threadbare purple robes and piercing eyes. And I will show him to you now. The amazing Zograthi. As you enter, he gestures broadly and says, "The amazing Zograthi sees all and knows all. A double fist of silver for a turn of the cards or a vision in the crystal. A treble fist of gold for the secrets of the multiverse."
She's going to kind of scooch over to one of the chairs. I'm guessing it's like a cheesy, like, what do you call those things?
Are there pillows or are there chairs?
In here, there are probably cushions.
I'm thinking about like one of the, like one of those like Daytona Beach, like cheesy tour, like psychic shops or something.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
Where he even has like a nice little sparkly tablecloth and maybe even a turban.
Well, he doesn't have a turban. He's just straight bald.
Okay.
But and you can see, as the picture indicates, he does have a symbol tattooed on his forehead.
Okay. So, well, I came here looking for a little bit of a fortune, but I'm trying to figure out if you might know where my future might lead me to.
The future. For the future, it will be a double fist of silver. 10 shields ought to do it. One must feed oneself, he says as he scratches his arms feverishly.
All right. How about she takes it's shields or silver, so I take out 2 gold.
Dilly, does he have a rash?
Make a heal check. Or a perception check, your choice.
Well, he was a class thing, but wait, where's some perception? I don't remember how. You know what? I will try heal.
Not only does he have a rash, he has several, and you recognize this as Pesh addiction.
You know what?
I'm assuming it's a type of like shiver or something like that.
Pesh is a drug, yes.
Okay, I'm assuming Feya's previous backstory would be quite aware with drugs, so.
Yes, Feya would be familiar with Pesh. It is an inhalant, and
like
it's supposed to last for a couple hours, putting you into it's poppy.
It's like poppy, but from a cactus or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Olash is kind of just sickened by him, and then everything in here is just gonna wait outside.
That's a nice heal.
Oh, how about I give you these two little sails, only if I like the answer you give me.
What is your wish? What do you wish to know of the future?
Now, is there a nice little young lady called Natalia Vanderskin in my future?
Van Kaskerkin.
Van Kaskerkin.
Ah, that is not the future. You seek secrets. Perhaps my greatest trade. And then he kind of drops the show. 50 sails.
No, I thought we agreed on 2 sails.
2 sails for the future, 50 sails for my secrets.
And you tried to pull a fast one on me.
Would you like to try to make some kind of a check to get him to lower that?
Sure.
It's your choice of diplomacy or intimidate. It really depends on how you want to approach this.
It's the same thing.
So, are you trying to be more menacing? Are you trying to scare him? Or are you trying to talk him down?
I'm trying to think if I could do something else that would help me here. Can I do acrobatics, do a backflip without impress him?
Before we make negotiation of secret, is she alive?
50 gold.
Oh, you gotta stop sneaking up on me like that, little lady. I keep my eye on you.
Faye is gonna like lurch down over the orb thing that he has and just stare like at it and then back at him. Is she alive? She's looking at the orb to see if it like shows anything, with knowing it's stupid magic.
The orb does not show anything.
Obviously.
I would like to intimidate. And the route I'm going with this is obviously I'd be surprised if word didn't get around about who we are. We're just trying to come in here and not start no trouble and not try and bust anything up. And from the looks of it, you're very much so outnumbered. And I got a nice little shiny pellet. I'm going to have a close interaction with your forehead.
Make an intimidate check.
Right. No, I'm not going to pass it, but here's a roll.
Okay. You think you can intimidate me? Rubes. And as he says this, you get the sense outside that was some kind of a code word.
I've been staring outside.
Olach, you see numerous of the Verizians who were working set down their things and advance toward you, about a dozen of them. All of them wielding morning stars.
Inside the tent?
No, they're walking toward the tent.
I'm saying inside the tent, not knowing that that's happening.
Flush is kind of just done with his great sword.
No, friend. There's no need for this.
There is every need.
No need.
I set my price and you spat on it. Get out, or they will make you leave.
That was her, not me. I'm here for other.
That was all of you.
So what you're saying is we have a chance to teach you a lesson before they get to us.
What I'm saying is, if you don't leave now, you aren't leaving. These gentlemen, he gestures actually with both arms to the men now gathering outside, and there are indeed 12 of them, all with kind of bouncing morning stars in their hands. These men will make you regret it.
60 gold by our time here.
Make a diplomacy check.
60 gold?
At this point, though, the diplomacy check's DC has gone up because he is no longer indifferent. Yeah. So how it works is basically the DC is well, that's not going to do it.
Just fucking gross.
And I pull out my
Well, just like grinning at the coming men, like slowly walking forward towards them as well.
You have other methods?
If 60 gold won't buy our time, then it seems that we've wasted our time here, and you're of no help to us. Good day, sir, and best luck with your addiction.
Technically, I don't think you knew about that.
I didn't know about that. Never mind. And best luck with your whatever this is.
So I guess I should ask, what are you guys going to do? Are you leaving?
I'm going to calmly walk out. Sorry, go ahead.
Sione's leaving as well. That went well.
I'm going to attempt to just walk past and brush past these guys who seem to be...
Well, hold tight, because they're not going to let you pass until I know if everybody's going or if anybody's going to planning on fighting.
He's sitting at the table.
He is.
Dodgy would have pee near his shoes.
My God,
and
guys.
then left.
Guys.
Just like a little tinkle, not something very noticeable.
Okay. So what about Lyrianne and Olach?
Look, everyone's leaving. It's literally suicide if I stay behind. So there's really no choice in the matter.
Well, Olaf is just gonna snort. He's gonna go, well, if you puny humans want to gain the blessing of Gorum.
Wait, what does that mean?
I don't know what that means.
Kinda try to intimidate him as he's walking past.
This as you're leaving. So you're trying to leave with grace.
Yep.
Okay, make another intimidate check.
Oof.
And the DC, I believe, is the same as demoralize, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's
That's
10
how you-
plus their hit die plus wisdom. They eagerly clear out of your way.
Oh God. I love it.
So powerful at level 1.
Yeah.
I'm planning on pursuing.
I think there's a feat you can take very
There are.
early that lets you add strength to your intimidate checks.
Yep.
Okay. So you guys are escorted by a mob of angry Verizian thugs out of Washer's Row.
Oh,
That's
wait.
what, well,
Where's our other lead?
So what the
Figure
hell
out
was that?
something.
That was a bit of a mess.
It was a plan. It didn't work.
That was your plan.
I was gonna shoot him, but y'all didn't let me.
Well, you're more than welcome to shoot him, but I'm leaving without you then. Good luck with that. So, what is our next plan?
Well, we have another lead, don't we? Let's go down there and take a gander at that one.
well, there are several possible leads. With the Scarny. She'll look at Saltiel. Maybe you know some of them?
Maybe. Who knows? Time changes many things. I might. But you have to remember, I'm not really a part of that anymore. So. We can start there if you want, but we need a better plan than just intimidating some shopkeep and then getting attacked by a mob.
You should.
Well,
We should just pay them. You're not going to get anything without paying.
I was willing.
Nothing is free.
Everything is permitted.
That's the wrong game.
you guys should have allowed me to do some aggressive negotiation.
No, you were doing exactly what we needed you to do.
I
We
didn't
got
do
out there
anything.
alive, friend. Exactly. You did exactly what you needed to do. We got out of there alive and we didn't kill anyone for it.
In
The time
there,
will come.
who looked the strongest in there besides our half orc?
They look quite puny.
Honestly, every one of those Verizian thugs looked like they could beat most of your asses. Unless you could get a jump on them. Or, through magical means, obviously. They didn't look like any spellcasters, but
Tough.
they looked tough. Yeah.
Cutthroats.
Don't fight in number like that. That's not smart.
You have bad luck with the number 12.
I do.
Alright, so perhaps we pursue something else then. Somebody else offer up a plan. I'm willing to follow.
Well, I'm always up to kill some slavers.
We
We
don't know if she's with them. What's fair?
I was just going to add that I know their mockery of magic.
It's all a front. I'll have to get used to that around the city, I'm sure.
Till you find a witch who's unpleased and does a real curse.
If I tried just like asking around a little bit with people for Natalia,
Mhm.
I just try that, see what happens.
So that is one function of the diplomacy check. It does take about an hour. I would assume all of you would be participating in that
I will help
if
her.
you do that.
I could assist as well.
I think Ola should probably go along the lines of grabbing people by their like scuff of their clothes. Like, do you know her?
So you want a diplomacy?
Are you guys all willing to do that?
I would like to ask, was Seone away from Olak? So we're not threatening, but he can,
Yes.
be threatening with Satya or something.
Okay, so you guys are breaking up into two groups to kind of... And where are you asking around? Just Beacon's Point? Or are you headed back to Dockway? Or... Where in the city do you want to do this?
If I'm gonna go intimidation with that, so my thinking is I'll probably try to look for previous members or people that I know or might know or avenues that I might know in the Scarney route of things of where I would know people.
So you want to head to
Or-
Dockway or Underbridge? Which is it?
Right. I want to start there. Maybe I can get some info.
Well, which
Maybe
one?
I want the what?
Underbridge or Dockway?
Underbridge would be where
The
I would've-
nastiest source would be.
Let's go with Dockway.
I'd probably start with Dockway and see if I can spot anything that I might recognize or
Okay, so you're going to
Get
start
info.
like in the lighter area and work your way to the nasty section.
sure.
Okay.
Like, this girl owes us some money. Do you know her?
What about Lyrianne? What is Lyrianne going to do during this hour of mingling?
This is not really her specialty.
Faye is either, don't worry.
She's just gonna tag along with whatever group looks like they know what they're doing.
Probably
Well-
Sayoni and Fea.
Really, they both, for what their respective tasks are, they both look like they know what they're doing. Seoni is very good with people, and Celtiel and Olach are very good with pissing people off and terrifying them.
I'm going with Olak.
Okay.
I rolled a D2. It's Olak, so I'm going with Olak.
Okay. So you three are going to Dockway and kind of going to mix with the merchants and such. Seoni and Fea, where are you two going to be?
Where are we right now? In
Beacon's
Canada?
Point by Washer's Row. So it's marked as the Amazing Zography, but it would be, you're right around this part of the city
Oh, hold on.
in Beacon's Point.
I wasn't ready. Okay, ping one more time. Okay,
Near Sograthi's tent.
so that's not far from Karen's camp. That's a Verizian encampment.
Yes, the darker part of Beacon's Point, that's basically where the Verizians live.
Okay, that's where I want to go. And ask around.
Okay. So you're focusing on asking like Verizian types.
Yeah. And I
Okay.
will. Yeah, that's my people.
So first, I want the assisters to roll. So I want Fea to roll a diplomacy check, and I want Celtiel and Lyrianne to make intimidate checks. The DC for all three of you is 10.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so Olach is going to get +4 from assistance. Seoni's going to get +2 from assistance.
So roll
So
now.
Seoni and Olach roll diplomacy and intimidate respectively.
Oh!
So
roll.
Olach
my God,
got
guys.
32
Good rolls.
with a natural 20. Seoni got 24.
Nice.
You guys rolled incredible.
Nice.
So you guys get some different bits of information.
All right.
Let's see. What do we got here? Immediately, like, by and large, all of you in your shakedowns keep hearing, like, even from the ones who don't know anything, the repeated suggestion, people have been disappearing, a few each week. Celtiel, Olach, and Lyrianne, you guys in particular find out that all the disappearances have been in Dockway and Underbridge. A lot of people have been disappearing for
Is
the
there-
past couple months, a few a week.
Is there a pattern that we found? That, like, what kind of people
Well,
have been disappearing?
No, not really. Though you do find that the city is doing literally nothing about
right.
this. It doesn't sound like the city cares about poor Varisians and destitute folk being targeted. And Seoni and Fea, you get that information as well. Seoni, you hear that the Skarni are trying to step in. The Skarni are trying to prevent this, but the gangs are starting to lose people themselves, and they haven't had any luck. But you find out that the Skarni are very eager to find the answer to this, and that they're looking for anyone who can help. Any Varisian who can help. They are not accepting any outsider aid. Which is why Olach and company, you guys do not hear about that because they don't really want your help. You just hear that the Skarni are looking to fix this. Leave it to the Skarni. The leading theory on the street, particularly in Dockway, is that this is the result of Nidalee's slavers who are selling them, who are taking these people and selling them offshore at night aboard hidden Nidalee's ships. Seoni, you hear that is the leading theory around Dockway, but the Varisians here don't believe it. People have been disappearing who could fight off slavers. The folks that you talk to don't really buy the Nidalee's theory. But they don't have a better theory. But they don't think the slavers are doing it. They haven't seen any Nidalee's ships. In Dockway, you guys don't hear that particular bit. In fact, the people in Dockway seem convinced that that's what happened. Though, in Dockway, when you guys are inquiring about Natalia specifically, ultimately you do find a kind of a weaselly, gangly, Skarni gang member who knows her. She shook him down a few days ago. And you know that she runs with a group, you find out, called the Tower Girls, a group of cat burglars. And that is the gang she is a part of. But you also find out, when you shake the guy harder, that though he was trying to send you after the Tower Girls, he finally admits that the Tower Girls are actually looking for Natalia too. And that the word is, if they find her, she's in deep trouble. That they're out to get her, and that they want her dead.
Olach probably literally shipped him.
Oh, I'm sure. Like, I'm imagining him being held high off the ground, too. Olach is a huge guy.
Me and Larry trying to, like, calm him down, like, hey, man.
He swears he doesn't know where she's at. He doesn't know what happened. If he knew, he would have cashed it into the Tower Girls for a reward long before.
And she was last seen a few days ago where? Like in Dockway, or?
Yeah, the Tower Girls ran in Dockway and Underbridge, as far as he knew.
Okay.
They weren't one of the ones in Beacon's Point. So Seoni, you do not, or Seoni and Fea, you do not get that information.
We don't get
People
anything
know
about her.
People know who Natalia is, but no one's really seen her. It's likely that you hear, it's likely she's one of the ones who disappeared.
Okay.
I will say, Olach, Celtiel, and Lyrian, for the remainder of the first adventure, you have a -2 penalty on all diplomacy checks with Varisians. You guys may want to make note of that.
Okay.
As
We just
word
put
of
that
this
in there for now, or
spreads.
no?
I would just record that somewhere. No, not
just
not
go
for
around
all
bullying
diplomacy.
them
It's
for an
only
hour?
diplomacy check with Varisians.
Oh,
With
okay.
Chilaxians, Shoanti, other races, you're fine.
So we went around bullying them for an hour?
Basically, yeah. Shaking
Yep.
down particularly Skarni-looking Varisians. It's a little bit of profiling, but it does get you some results.
Okay.
And I'd imagine a lot of it is Lyrian spotting, like, there's one. And then Olach shaking him down while Celtiel asks the questions. Does that sound right for you three?
Uh-huh. yeah, that sounds about right.
You look suspicious. Olaf grabs.
Get him. go into an alleyway, you know.
This would
So-
only take but a moment.
After about an hour of asking around, that's the most you guys can get.
Well, that wasn't helpful.
That was decently helpful. We didn't know some of that information.
What does it bring us to finding anything what she might be at? All we know now, she's even more higher than we thought she was. She has a hit out on her. That's something.
Is this all together?
I would assume you guys regrouped at the park in the center of town. Technically, this is part of Keystone. Maybe you've gathered around the monument, which Sione can identify for you as Our Lady of Blessed Waters. And this one, I'm sure I have a description for. Sorry about that last one. I don't know how I missed that.
Can we meditate here?
So, Sear Spring Garden, that's this whole park, boasts a spring of crisp, clear water, which marks the northeastern corner of Keystone. The park itself is a great place to relax, but its most striking feature is the bronze, strangely verdigris-free statue of a lithe woman who stands at the center of the water. The statue is said to be an image of the spirit believed to linger within the Sear Spring, but none in Magnumar know who built this mysterious monument. It would be a knowledge local check to know what kind of meditation you have to do here in order to get the benefit from the monument.
I would like to.
I can only get a 10.
What kind of check?
Knowledge local.
Are you sure? Because my trait gives me a +1 bonus on history checks.
You could do knowledge history as well.
Okay.
You could do knowledge history as well.
Well, is there a way to put this in the chat? Do I just click it?
You would click knowledge history and you would just manually add that +1.
Okay, there's the thing. And I will do a knowledge history.
Okay, so you get +2 to this knowledge history check.
Oh!
Natural 20.
Oh.
For a total of 23. So, Sione, you know that the Our Lady of Blessed Waters requires a knowledge religion check. And it requires 10 minutes spent in prayer to the spirit of the Sear Spring.
Do I know what it does?
Yes, you know that doing this successfully. Now, granted, I'm giving you the mechanical terms. You know that more in this sense. What it does is it gives greater power to divine spellcasters, both on concentration and caster level checks. So this is a place where those of a particularly pious mind should go to pray.
Okay. Well, I'll keep that in mind.
I will also tell all of you, for your benefit, you may benefit from a number of monument blessings equal to your charisma modifier per week.
Oh, 0.
Minimum of 1?
Minimum 1.
Okay.
Minimum 1.
Alright.
How long does that last?
24 hours.
Nice. Okay.
So all of you have regrouped around this monument. In the
Conveyed
park.
information.
If Sione is gonna be doing a ritual while she does it, you're not? No?
No.
Oh, I thought you were.
That's of no use to me.
Oh, okay.
So you could confer that to others. If
I
you'd
will
like.
confer that.
What do you say?
This monument will give you much greater focus if you meditate by it. I know it doesn't sound legit, but it is.
Focus how?
In the divine sense, to the
Prayer would be.
holy and praying.
As long as I'm close to my sword and my symbol, it's like bonk, bonk. I don't need that meditation.
Not if we boring looking statue, don't you think?
Does it look like?
A lithe woman in the center of a pool of water.
Oh.
She is made from bronze.
You think that's boring?
I always found bronze to be dull, and I prefer shinier things.
I'll meditate if they let me. I'm curious.
I mean, what is our next step?
I won't stop you.
So
It's just-
it takes 10 minutes, so assume you're praying to the spirit of the seer spring while this conversation is occurring.
Okay.
Assuming you guys are filling each other in on what you discovered in your hour.
Yes.
So actually that alone would take about 10 minutes. So anyone who wants to spend those 10 minutes in prayer instead of in discussion may make their knowledge religion check now.
Can I...
You may not assist on this one.
No, I was gonna say, can I pray to not that god?
Well, it's not a god at all, actually. It's a
Oh,
spirit.
sorry. The spirit.
Mhm.
Oh.
If that's your sort of thing. Though it would mechanically be of no benefit to arcane spellcasters.
No.
Faye is just doing it out of curiosity, not
That's fine.
any other
Go ahead.
reason.
Make your knowledge religion check.
Well, I guess while everyone's meditating...
Fea, with your result of 15, you get a +1 morale bonus on all caster level and concentration checks for divine-only spells for 24 hours.
Okay. Buffs.
Which would mean nothing to you, basically.
Yeah, but I get to play with the buffs and conditions thing now. Unfortunately, it doesn't show anything about buffs.
But you feel a presence reach out to you as you pray to the spirit. For just a moment, you feel as though the statue itself is reaching back to you and offers to you a prayer for concentration, the blessing of blessed waters. Sorry, you may continue, everyone who was talking.
Bet that feels wet.
Oh. What's the plan?
So I think we should go after some slavers.
Or, have them come after us.
I believe the Verzians. I don't think the slavers took her.
Was that what they said?
Yes.
Because our Verizians said they did.
Were you scaring them half to death? They probably would have said anything to get away from you.
You think we should go back and check?
No.
No, I think we did it. I think what we did is it's exactly what we needed to do. I think our information is accurate.
That being said, they don't really have another theory, so...
So do we lay in wait in the alleys and wait for something to attack us? Because I honestly don't like being caught off guard. Like
No.
knowing what I'm fighting.
Oh, Stilly. Do we know if the people who disappeared, if they disappeared during the day or during the night?
As far as you know, during the night.
And have people been disappearing every day?
No, every week, about 3 to 5 per week. Always at night.
Said she was with the Tower Girls, right?
Apparently they're looking after her, or looking for her.
I think if we talk to them, they might help us, maybe give us resources to help find her.
I
Maybe
mean,
point us in the right direction.
chances are if they find out we found her, then they're just gonna kill us and them and her.
Then we don't tell
Yep.
them.
And if they knew where she was, then she'd be dead.
We can ask but more so if they already kill her.
If that's where you guys want to go, then we'll do it. But I think letting her sworn enemies know that we're looking for her might not be the most smart idea.
Remember,
Well-
our patron's only looking for the item. I mean, it's only contingent that we get more money. I mean, that she's alive. Just
We
saying.
also get help from other Skarny gangs. They're trying to find a way to stop people from being taken. It's everyone. So
They didn't mention that. Perhaps we approach them first.
They don't like you that way.
Probably not.
Hmm.
Not many people do.
I wonder why.
It's probably his smell.
Oh, come now. You didn't have fun last time we hung out.
It's the smell.
Hmm?
You smell weak.
Oh.
Hmm. You know, I didn't notice that right away, but I can smell it now. Oh.
It's cute. It's very funny.
So, which group do we want to approach?
How about
I used to know the
Underbridge.
Underbridge Skarny.
You definitely would know of the Tower Girls, though you didn't. I mean, as the name implies,
Yeah.
they were all women and all
Yeah.
cat burglars. The other Skarny weren't overly fond of them.
Perhaps we could start with the group that I ran with. It might be worthwhile with some information or at least some aid. Who knows? Tower Girls doesn't sound like a smart option. If we want to keep her
Yes.
alive, I don't know why we're trying to keep her
They
alive.
also want to know what's happening with all these people missing.
Yes, that's what I said.
That is what she said. So then we head there.
Well, you lead the way then.
Follow me.
Where are you going?
Under a bridge.
Okay, you know where Underbridge is. You would not know where the Tower Girls are located.
We're not going to them.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
We're going to scout out my old troop.
Oh, okay.
From Skarny.
Going to okay. So Underbridge
Old
is
stomping
actually
grounds.
under the Ire span on the map, but up here.
Yeah, that's
is,
where the...
Let me make sure that moves the map correctly.
It's
Where I
good
want
hive of scum and villainy. Just like
it. Just zoom out a tiny.
Oh, hey, would the clock tower still be up?
Yes, the shadow clock is still up. So, Underbridge. Let's see if I've got a description before I tune into it. So this is the most notorious slum in Magnumar. Underbridge is a collection of shacks and shanties, basically. It's a shanty town. It's dirty. It smells of sewage and the homeless. Buildings are run down if they stand at all. Though standing watch over all of Underbridge, rising almost to the very base of the bridge itself, is a single leaning clock tower with an angel perched at the very steeple. The head of this angel only about 4 feet below the bottom of the Ire span. This clock tower is, I want to say, 190 feet. No, it's more than that. I don't remember, unfortunately. Pathfinder Shadow Clock. Celtiel, you would know that the... Oh, here we go. The Shadow Clock is 250 feet tall. It is rusted and leaning, made of stone, wood, and metal. The clock is frozen at 3 o'clock and has been for as long as any of you have come to Magnimar. Celtiel, you know that there are bets currently in many taverns in Underbridge for just different things like when it falls, how many people are going to die, how long until it falls, when it falls, how many buildings are going to be smashed under it, things like that.
Gotcha.
And obviously there's all sorts of local rumors that it's haunted and such.
Mhm.
Celtiel, during the events of Rise of the Rune Lords, granted you weren't around at the time, but your comrades in arms would have spoken of it, about how they had a fight with a cult in that clock tower.
Oh.
You weren't there for any of that, but you know that there were...
Yeah.
it was the hideout for a group called... you don't remember who they were. Skins, Saw, something like that.
Gotcha.
Nasty people. Anyway, Underbridge. It's dark. The sun doesn't reach down here. Where would you guys like to go?
Can I try to remember where my old stomping grounds were in this area?
Pretty much most of the area. As you can see from the map, it's not a huge district.
Yeah. Is there anywhere that, like, I would know that, like, maybe runners hang out, or...
Make a knowledge local check.
I can only get a 10 highest, so...
Well, here, actually, you would be... I'm going to allow
Oof.
something higher.
Gross. 12.
12. Unfortunately, you aren't super familiar with safe houses here. You know that, or rather, what you know is they often change, and it's been a little too long since you've been out of the game.
Okay.
Your old safe house. So we'll say that you spend about an hour visiting your old places, but they're all abandoned. And it's clear to you that they've moved from these locations.
No, I don't look surprised at all in this. I'm just like, can't find any of my old contacts. So, who would like to try to take a stab at what information we want?
Well, we should try to find a different gang then.
Or we could try to find some people around here. We've only looked for safe houses and the like. I'm not opposed to going back in the sun, though.
Really? Looks at how pale he is.
Well, the Gallo, they're the most powerful. I mean, I think we should just seek them out.
The Gallo'd operate down here and in Underbridge and Dockway.
Yeah.
In fact, they can also be found in Beacon Point and even on occasion in Low Cleft.
Might be best bet to spread word around here that we're looking for aid in finding one of their old comrades. Or at least...
I think it would be better to say we're investigating missing people. They might be more inclined to...
Set
You know
your
more than I.
discretion.
Hmm?
We're supposed to be discreet.
Yeah. So if
You
we
don't know
just
me
say-
very well, do you?
If we just say we're looking to help find missing people, then
You lead the way, I'll follow.
See, Ani, if we do talk to more group, can you do talking? They like you more.
that was my plan. Yes.
Okay. Thank
So I just kind of want to talk to people around, I guess, and essentially, like, say I'm looking into missing people. Put me in contact with some of your people. Like, point me in the right direction. Because I just
Okay.
want to help.
Make a diplomacy check.
Is anybody assisting?
I will assist you. I didn't say that. I just said did majority of the talking since you're Verizian.
So back in 3.5, this check used to be there was a skill called Gather Information.
That ain't here, so just a diplomacy.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm assisting her, can I maybe give her the +2?
You would have to make a diplomacy check, but
Yeah.
yes, you can attempt to assist with this.
Alright. I'm not very good at this. Oh, never mind.
Though because you have Celtiel and company with you, you will have a -2 for just them being with you.
Oh man! Even though they are assisting.
At least it doesn't stack.
If they assist, the most they could do is counter their -2.
I'll try.
So Fea, for a natural 20, you actually give +4 instead of +2 on the assist.
Just be like, yo, I'm not really that bad. Sorry.
We'll look.
Yeah.
I'll try to look a little less.
Olach won't bother.
I'll try to look a little bit more diplomatic.
Put a little
And
flower in your hair.
remind me one more time, who are you trying to approach? Or what are you trying to do with this?
So I'm just talking to people and trying to get them to put me in contact with the Gallowed.
Oh, I see.
Or
Okay.
I'm just trying to find the Gallowed.
Trying to find the Gallowed. I can work with that.
Celtiel, you didn't do shit. Okay,
So,
so I have
Celtiel,
+2.
You have +2 because instead of +4, Fea gave +4, Celtiel gave -2.
Wah! Go away. You no help.
Well, Celtiel, Olach, and
Ew.
Lyrianne gave you -2.
So 9.
9 total.
I didn't roll.
Ooh.
No one seems
rolled a
willing to
2.
talk to you. You get a lot of dark looks, and it starts looking like it's getting a little dangerous to be down here. Like, you've got some pretty women, and there's a lot of nasty people down here. No one's going to mess with you with Olach present. They're more afraid of him. But you're starting to get some gang attention. And you've noticed that some of them are turning up more than once and following you.
I will ask one of them.
What do you say? So you approach one of the gang folk.
You see missing person? I see you twice now. You help or no?
Yeah, baby, come on back down here. I'll talk to you.
How many people are around with this guy?
I mean, there's folks who are like, we'll say 2 with him specifically.
You think you can handle me?
Ooh.
She'll give like a little smile.
That's an interesting route. You know what? Go ahead and make a diplomacy check.
Yes, and Tim. Yes, and.
Ah!
Oh no!
They'll handle you.
He grins nastily and flashes a hooked dagger. Yeah.
I was trying to be more flirtatious, but.
Oh, I know. I know. And you rolled a natural 1.
Alright.
Yeah, I think we can handle you just fine.
So I'm gonna look back at my party to see if they have my back.
Right? Yeah, I was gonna say.
Alright.
So
and
the
then
rest of you are starting to
I'm gonna
come over to where Fea has walked now.
I'm going to kiss him on the lips and give
Whoa.
him touch of fatigue. Using his own sweat.
Wow. What?
Could you? Yeah, that.
What?
So he gets a fortitude save.
Mm.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Sayoni, you do the talking.
I'll do the
Hold
kiss.
on, I got it, guys.
So he gets a fortitude save. DC is 15. He rolled a 20.
Damn.
Unfortunately, you do that, and then he kind of shoves you away suddenly. What is this, witch?
You know, like?
And he and his two cohorts slink off down an alley.
I'm like
So,
half
can
ready to pull
I-
my blade.
can I try again?
You get
no?
the sense at this point that nobody's going to talk to you about the Gallowed.
Okay, let's leave.
Do you want Olak and Lyria
No.
to try it? Nope.
At this point, you figure the five of you are pretty well ID'd down here, and nobody's going to talk to you about the Gallowed.
Did we go to Dockway and see if we put her up there?
I still say we go back to that little carnival and shoot it up.
They're all good idea. Get all the bad ideas out first.
All right, then I'll just sit here and continue to wait for all the brilliant ideas you guys are coming up with.
My idea, no bad. Just
Work.
have fun.
I don't know where my stuff is anymore. I don't know where my people are. Or, not really people.
You
Never
people?
mind.
You.
Let's just check out.
Most of them, you would suspect at this point, based on what you've seen down here and the lack of familiarity, have been arrested and locked up in the Arvin Soar.
Let's just check out Dockway, and if it doesn't go anywhere,
Call it a
we
night.
can discuss other strategies.
Now, to be clear on how the justice system works, by the way, the Arvin Soar is more like jail, whereas those who get put in, quote-unquote, the dungeon would be in the hells. That's the name for the
Not more of a
infamous
gal.
prison in Magnumar. And when you go into the hells, you don't come out of that place.
Oh,
Yeah. Like a
Okay.
gal.
Yeah.
so what's our plan now? The dockway and see if anyone's willing to help?
Same thing. Just maybe people will be more friendly here. I never liked Underbridge.
Tell you what, let's find a tavern. Could use a drink. Perhaps there's word there.
Okay.
Maybe it'd be easier to talk to somebody that's already half drunk about some issues.
Let's visit this. That's a monument, right, Stelia?
It is, though, this point here is actually... Oh, I just realized. Let me zoom back out on the map over here. The monument and this spot here is actually higher up than down by Underbridge. There's sort of a hill, and the road from here, kind of along here, along this little section, that descends the rest of the way down to the shore.
Oh, I see it. Okay. Never mind then.
So that's... The Eyes of the Hawk is about halfway up the path to the summit. Though there are numerous taverns along that path, actually. There's one right by the Eyes of the Hawk. Though there's probably a dozen different taverns throughout Dockway. Sailors and dock workers love to drink.
Okay. Let's go to the tavern by the Eyes of the Hawk then. I've been there before.
Lead the
You
way.
guys go to that place, of which I no longer remember. Pathfinder Magnimar. I don't remember what it's called anymore. That's in Dockway. There is the Bazaar of Sales. That is in Dockway. Of course, it's not listed here. I cannot remember the name of that damn tavern. I am so sorry. Well, I'm not going to spend time, waste time opening the book. You find the tavern near the monument. It's dirty. There's a lot of Varisians and a lot of dock workers working in here. A couple half-orcs. It looks like a rough crowd. Everybody kind of turns to look at you as you guys come in the door, then goes back to their drinks. Talk is kind of quiet. There's no music, no performers. Individual booths are kind of quiet, and then there's a large bar with numerous burly, thuggish-looking men sitting at it.
I'll go up to the bar and order whatever wine they have.
It's cheap.
Yep.
It'll run about 2 coppers per glass. 2 copper pinch. I'm sorry, 2 copper pinch per glass.
What's that? Copper pinch?
Mm-hmm. That is both singular and plural.
Okay. 2 copper pinch.
Can I size up the thuggish looking guys?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
any one of them you feel like you could take. No one in here is as bulky as you are. Though those 2 half-orcs look like they might be able to give you a run for their money if they tag team you. All together, if everyone came at you, you feel like it could be a dangerous situation, but most of these folk don't look like they're together.
well, what a shame.
It's a dock workers tavern, though, basically.
Oh.
It's a workers tavern.
So
I
I'm
will-
just.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Nope, go ahead.
I'm just gonna find somebody who doesn't look too imposing. Maybe the bartender, and see what info I can gather on the Gallowed.
Make a diplomacy check.
I'm sitting unassuming away from her. So
Yeah,
hopefully
get
don't
away
get-
from
I mean,
me.
didn't you guys all enter together, though?
No.
Pretty much.
Probably. But I'd probably
rush
sit
of
away from them
people.
and not talk to them. So sit down, have my wine, give me some peace.
Tell you what, why don't you make a bluff check, Celtiel? And Sione.
Okay.
I don't know them.
Fortunately, Sione got a natural 20.
I don't
Good enough
fucking
for
know
me.
them.
Celtiel, you're pretty you're pretty obvious.
Pretty obvious. I'm still with
Normally,
them.
I would have everybody make a bluff check, but in this case, you are the 2 who are most active.
Okay.
But Sione, you may make your diplomacy check without penalty. What are
Should've-
others doing well? Celtiel's
used
getting
my-
wine. Deone's starting to ask around. What about Lyrian, Olach, and Fea?
Let's just, I'm gonna act like a bodyguard for the group. Just gonna watch, the patrons,
Mm-hmm.
arms folded. It's like, they're not worth my time.
Okay. About Lyrian and Fea.
Lyrian's gonna spend her time basically reversing all the negative things she was doing and go, I was just joking, right?
Yeah, you do see a couple people who earlier got shook down.
It's funny stuff. It's funny. You should see the look on your face.
Make a diplomacy check.
Should buy them drink.
I wish I could give you disadvantage for this. That's not a mechanic in Pathfinder.
You should buy
No,
them
but
drink.
you can raise the...
They're not really laughing.
I'm not a diplomat.
You're getting some unfriendly stares. And Fea, what are you doing?
I am. How many people is she talking to about the
She's-
joking? Roughly.
She's just going person to person. Don't worry about a specific number. There's plenty of people in here.
I mean, I want to know because I was gonna buy them each a drink.
There's not a specific number. If you want to buy drinks to the people she's
Everyone?
talking to, let's just say a nice round 2 gold.
Oh, okay.
I guess Sione, did you want to go ahead and make that diplomacy check now?
Can I just use the nat 20 on that?
I'm afraid not.
What a waste.
You don't have the -2 penalty.
Great. Diplomacy.
No one's really willing to talk to you about the Gallowed. They all deny any association with them or any knowledge of them. You are getting the sense that going around asking people to talk about a street gang may not be the best way to find the street
I
gang.
feel
You
like
know
we
what?
keep
I'm not
dead end
against
after dead end, so we need to find another angle.
Yeah.
What are they known for? Like the gang itself to be doing?
Now that is information I can actually find.
Like, you know, you say they're powerful, but like, what exactly do they do? What makes them powerful?
So the Gallowed operate in particular in the poverty-stricken district of Rag's End. I think that's in Bridge, I think, or Beacon Point. They keep the district in its miserable state. They work as hired muscle for the shore's most... Wait a minute. Make a knowledge local check. What the hell am I doing?
I was waiting for you to
Make a damn knowledge local check. Do you have ranks in it?
No.
Okay. Well, as far as you know, they're supposed to be street toughs. They're a nasty sort. You don't really know.
I want...
God damn. It's a good thing that's all you asked for. Hey, where's Natalia? Oh, let me tell you all about it.
Hold on, I have that. Let me give you that information.
Jesus
You know
Christ.
what? That is Jarvis level charm. I'm so excited.
Why don't we go ask the town militia people? I
The Town Watch operate out of the Arvin Soar.
Why don't we go talk to them? Because obviously they keep tabs of who comes and goes in the city.
I could try. I'm clearly not getting anywhere.
What time of the day is it right about now?
By this point, it's probably, let's see, you started at noon. It's about 4 o'clock or so. You've kind of been wandering the city a fair bit.
I'm gonna draw a mark somewhere when no Bart keeps paying attention to me. And I will create it and show you after I'm done creating it.
I don't understand.
Arcade
Just
mark.
marking things.
Oh. Do you have... Well, you should have access to Arcane Mark as a cantrip. If you have that prepared, you can just cast it. Straight up.
I wasn't trying
I was
to
asking.
actually
Oh.
mark things. It's more
No.
like graffiti.
Oh, I gotcha. You're graffitiing a table.
I wouldn't say a table. I want to try and do like, you
She
know
wants
where
to be
this.
discreet about this.
Do you have
Yeah.
any bubble gum you want to stick under a chair, too?
Not at the moment,
Make a sleight of hand check.
but it's
That's
more like.
still a thing, right?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you're trying to be discreet, right? While you're doing it. That'd be sleight of hand.
Oh my
I'm
god.
just looking for it. Oh,
I have something I want to do after she's done.
Right. Get out your
It's-
spray paint can.
Let
no,
me...
it's a little chalk, just kind of like I've been here.
Okay. You, when you finish, you look up to see you've gotten some dirty looks from the barkeep. He's just like wiping down a mug, giving you a death glare while he's doing so.
I'll smile.
That's
And put-
creepy. Theo doesn't smile. What the hell? That's freaky.
It's more like
dirty.
It's not like evil or menacing. It's just like I'm not guilty.
I gotcha.
I don't feel guilty.
You caught me, but I don't feel guilty. I wanted to. I think I have parchment, right? Would I have just like paper and pen, or
You
no?
have you have a spell book. You should have access to blank
Okay.
pages.
It
I'll
would have been
begin-
like a constellation.
Yeah. I'll begin writing in Verizian
Mhm.
a message, and I will write it to you. But I'll say it once I have it written, because I don't know what I want to say yet.
Okay.
But let me think of something here.
I will note that the barkeep is Chilaxian.
Oh, he is.
Mm-hmm. The predominant majority of people in Magnumar are Chilaxian. It's the dominant ethnicity in the country of Varizia, not Varizian, funny enough.
They chased away the Varisians.
Pretty much, yeah. Varizians are treated like vermin in Magnumar. Whereas
I'll write it in common and in Varizian, just in
Okay.
case. Okay.
the Scarni is exclusively Varizian. But
Are they?
there's a reason they operate on the fringe of society.
Okay. You guys can do whatever. I'm gonna start typing.
Okay.
We can go.
Yeah, I don't see point in staying. Actually, before we go, do you guys mind if I go look at that monument?
What monument?
It's right outside.
I go. Lirian,
Hmm?
you want to speak to? Was it the town guard?
This town watch, I think.
City Watch.
Oh, I think that good idea.
I mean, if she disappeared, she could have been arrested for all we know.
I don't think she would be.
Wouldn't the Pathfinders found out if she was?
Got hiccups there, Ola?
Yep.
Any drink?
Okay. Tim, how would you like me to do this?
Just send me a whisper. Or you can Facebook it to me if you'd prefer.
Okay. I'll just do the
Where's the barracks that they stay at?
That's the Arvin Soar. So the Arvin Soar, you can actually see it in those pictures of the cityscape. It is the tallest building in Magnimar. It starts at the base of Low Cleft and rises all the way up above the cliff, another 90 feet above the summit.
Oh, it's that black building. I don't even have to think of. I don't even gotta look at the picture again. I know what you're talking about.
I will mark the Arvin Soar. It's probably not the one you think.
Isn't it near the cliff
It
side?
is there. You will find the Arvin Soar is this building.
Yep, that's the building I was thinking of.
Oh,
Okay, well that's
yeah. That's in the cliff side.
You can see it in the cityscape. It's a tower. It's massive.
So I'm gonna head there, I guess.
I sent it to you.
I'm assuming you guys are going to travel there together as a group.
I would sure hope so. But I want to check out this monument first, so.
And do I use sleight of hand with my +2 since I?
So you're not trying to send this in code or anything. You're just trying to slip
No,
a message on.
Just,
Yeah, that
I
would be
wanna
sleight
make
of
it
hand.
obvious that I'm slipping him a message.
Make a sleight of hand roll.
Okay, since I have my background in that, I get a +2 to this since I'm delivering a message discreetly.
Okay, I think yes, technically, I think that was referring to coded messages, but this technically
Well, I'm
applies.
just passing hidden messages.
Yeah.
Trying
All
to
right.
hide my message to this guy. Okay. Sleight of hand.
See you tomorrow.
Why isn't it rolling? There we go. Ugh, gross. +2, 13.
I mean, you get the message to him.
Okay.
It's not the subtlest thing in the world. He pauses, holding it, gives you the most tired, wearied look imaginable, then takes it, just opens it, reads it.
I'll just sit back in my chair and drink my wine.
Eyes you,
Stare at him.
sets it on the table, and goes back to wiping his mug.
Damn it. Damn it.
You should have wrote in cursive.
Yeah, that'll show him.
Yeah, that'll get him. I'll
so-
set down my mug
And Lyrianne, I'm assuming, so you're probably going to be leading the charge to the Arvin Soar. Before that, I am going to give Seoni her chance with the monument. This one, now that I found an actual description, depicts a group of adventurers of all sorts, archers, warriors, and most prominently, the two archers are actually wearing robes and depict arcane archers. And the epitaph describes this as the Eyes of the Hawk in honor of the adventuring party who drove back the Shriziks in 4623 AR.
I don't know what those are.
You want me to make a history?
To know what to do with this, what this particular statue does? Yes.
So it'd be +2 to that?
A total of 8.
Oh.
You aren't really sure about this one.
So I can't stay here and try it then? Right?
Correct.
If I don't know.
Oh, well, you could try something random. It depends on what you want to try.
It would be a knowledge, right?
Could be. It isn't always.
No, we can go.
Okay. So at about by the time you're done kind of looking this monument over, Lyrian and the others are exiting the tavern with a purpose. And you guys, all of you are going to the Arvin Soar? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure like Faya and Olach are also accompanying.
No, I said I was going to go with her.
Okay, I couldn't remember. So you actually have to... It's a good thing you came halfway up the summit because the entrance to the Arvin Soar is not in Low Cleft. It is in Nos. So you go the rest of the way up the path back into the gleaming, clean summit of Magnumar. And here there's a lot more travelers. There's adventurers passing you, going the other way. Like you pass Pathfinders, members of the Aspis Consortium. You pass politicians and City Watch in their gleaming steel armor. You walk along these numerous estates, one of which, Celtiel, you would know, is Kaijitsu Manor. You got to live there for a little while. It belongs to one Amiko Kaijitsu in Sandpoint. A friend. Also a friend of Saoni's, I believe. But past all these manor houses, you come to about the halfway point of this massive tower. And I believe I have a description on the tower as well. Ashley, Pache just will not leave me alone.
You better pet him then.
I have been.
Pet him more and harder.
He demands more. So this tower, let's see, is approximately 400 feet tall. Jesus Christ. Oh, that's all I get. Okay. So it looms over the southern part of the city, high above the districts. The tower itself is 400 feet tall, and the lower portion built into the side of the sea cleft. The sea cleft is the cliff that splits the city in half. So when you come in, entering into kind of their lobby, we'll call it a lobby, you can see that the officers are busy. There's City Watch carrying chained up criminals by. The watch officer stationed here looks very busy, filling out paperwork, directing people. He seems a little irritable as you approach. What do you guys do?
Is he irritable at us or just
Just
irritable?
in general. Just in general.
I'm gonna nudge Sione forward. I know good with people.
I'll go for it. I'm a people person.
So I approach more.
Capital D, colon.
And
So-
you said there's people out there?
There are, yes, though everybody seems to be working.
Alright, I want to see if I can get one of their attentions.
Okay, so to do, I'm going to need a diplomacy check. Otherwise, basically, there is a line. If you guys don't mind waiting a couple hours, you can get through to an officer, or you can try to kind of schmooze a little bit here to
Oh, I'm
See if
just
you
gonna
can-
wait.
I'll do some schmoozing.
Okay. So Lyrian kind of moves to get in line, or maybe not so much in line, they kind of direct you to a waiting area and tell you someone will be with you eventually. Sione, you're trying to
Yeah, like
butter them up?
So What do you here for? My thing's more important, so let me cut in front of you. Not quite like that, but...
You wouldn't be schmoozing the folks in line so much as the watch officer who's directing priority.
Oh, okay.
So, like, Lyrianne, you go up, and when you explain what you're there for, he just tells you, wait over there. And Sione, you can make your diplomacy.
Lines like this never existed in Belkson.
I'm not rolling good when it counts.
Punch their way through the front of the
13.
line.
So what do you say to the watch officer?
Hold on. We're investigating the missing persons, and it's a matter of utmost urgency we talk to someone in charge.
Wait over there.
It's a matter of life and death. We can't wait hours.
What matter is this?
A missing person.
Wait over there. You see her, those four over there, and that family of halflings, all here for missing persons. Get in line.
But we investigating. We wanted more information.
Great. Someone will be with you as soon as they're available. Wait over there.
Would I know anything about them taking bribes?
I was thinking that.
Would I know? Like, or is it like, do I know like which guards might take bribes?
You should make a knowledge local check.
All right.
If you haven't gathered, that would be a very good skill for someone to have in this particular.
Yeah, no kidding. I can only get a 10. I don't have any.
You're not really sure. You've never really tried bribing any officers. The grunts out on the streets, maybe, but the officers, the ones who'd actually have the information, you've never tried.
Do I try it? Fuck it. I'll approach the guard.
Like, hey.
Hey.
Okay.
Oh God, what am I doing? Someone stop me, please.
No, I'm not stopping you.
So, as Sione, Fea, and company are kind of joining Lyrianne, who's already maybe looking through the magazines or whatever it is you do to wait in a waiting room, Celtiel does not go to the stairs.
I'll look as like noble as I can, back straight. Whatever, I don't know how noble I can actually look, but I'll approach him like he's just a small inconvenience, but I'll offer my hand out.
Really?
Well, I'll just be like, a little bit of a nose, but then as soon as I approach him, it gets like... I'm doing that for the audience behind me, but then as soon as I get up close to him, I'm just like, how much for a quicker audience with an officer for questions and answers?
I'm gonna need you to make a diplomacy check.
The grunting we're so bad at as a collective.
Another one of those skills that will really come in handy.
By
the way, I love the imagery of Olach just sitting in like a waiting room chair with one leg over his knee reading a magazine. Cracks me up.
Flip through pages. I can only get a 10. I don't have any ranks in it.
No, that's only for knowledge skills.
Oh, okay.
18, you say?
Uh-huh.
To be clear, sir, are you offering me a bribe?
I'm offering you a tip for a job well done.
Nice.
You may wait by the wall with the others.
You must not get paid that.
I would recommend that you take a seat, sir, before someone takes it the wrong way and sees this as a bribe, which would result, sir, in a night in the jail.
Of course we wouldn't want that.
No, we wouldn't.
No.
I would like to try speaking to the families.
Tip Revoked. You have a good day, sir. Flip my hair and walk away.
And you've even got the freaking dramatic long hair.
How dare you?
Because you're worth it too. Okay, Fea starts trying to speak
Damn
with
it.
the...
18 didn't...
No.
If Cecile goes up to Olach after this, it's gonna go, you should show him your tits.
I don't know, the guards probably wouldn't even do
Oh
that.
my god. Feo.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry. Yes?
I know good with people, so...
Did you lose someone too?
No, but I try to help. I want to find people.
Someone is.
I'm here to seek answer from Sheriff, but who you lose?
My
And
brother. Brahmin.
And when you lose?
3 days ago. I've been in here every day. They just tell me to wait. I wait for 3 hours, and then they come and tell me they haven't found anyone. What's the Lord Mayor doing? Sitting up in his palace with all of his cushions and his food.
Yep.
He doesn't care. Why should he care? He's perfectly safe. I'm sorry. It's been difficult.
And you? I'm assuming the person in front is probably having their ear listening. Line. People get bored in lines.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not so much a line as like just they're waiting in chairs. Like there's like 2-person long line. They go to the watch officer who says, "Wait over there," and then they go and they sit and they wait.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's disappointing. It doesn't list it. But yeah. So the next person, there's a very high-strung man in spectacles with kind of a long waistcoat of a lime green color. It's hideous. He's been tapping his foot. Oh, what? Oh, yes. Yes, I'm waiting as well.
Who'd you lose?
Oh, she's not lost. I'm sure she'll turn up. My wife. I'm sure she's fine. And on the other side of you, there's an older man, balding with white hair. He grunts. Doubt it. Yes, well, that's your opinion, sir, and you are entitled to that. I'm sure she's fine. Yes.
How long you waited for her?
Oh, well, I've been waiting for about an hour now.
How many days?
Days. Well, she didn't come home last night. I'm sure it's fine. I'm not like them. She'll be back. I just just double checking.
Put my hand on his shoulder. Denial not good for heart.
Oh no, it's not denial. You'll see. She'll turn up.
Of course. If you guys no mind, I would like to speak to Officer Sooner. I try to help people. The sooner
You're good.
The sooner I see, the sooner.
Make a diplomacy check. Going for the heartstrings there.
Better than I did.
Not good at this shit though.
Oof.
9? Okay.
Is there
The
a
old
bonus
man-
for me doing so good?
The DC is lower. The old man just snorts, but if the two who you've spoken with, they actually seem like they will. So I'm going to cut your wait time in half. So
Hey.
you guys end up waiting 2 hours. The old man still goes past you. A few other people still go ahead of you. A few, though, let you go ahead. And finally, all 5 of you are escorted back to an office to speak with a woman. She is human, Verizian. And it's not often that you see Verizians in the colors of the city. All right, bring it in here. What do you want? I understand you have information.
Well, we're looking for missing people.
Yes, join the club. What can I do? Who are you looking for?
Well, we want to go out there and look for them.
We want to know
Great.
who's been taking the people. I mean, we've heard rumors.
We'd all like to know. I've heard rumors of slavers, Nidalese ships. Bullshit. I haven't seen a Nidalese ship anywhere, but the people keep disappearing. I'll tell you the same thing I've told them, which is we don't know anything. We haven't seen anyone. The people who we've found, they don't remember anything. They don't know anything.
But
To be honest with you, we're closing the investigation.
Closing it, but people are still being, like, taken. You can't-
And they are turning up. Give it a couple days or a couple weeks, they'll turn up.
They
With
have
no
marked
memory?
How
them?
you conduct yourself. Okay.
Yes, that's right. They have no memory. The few who do turn up are likely the results of mundane misadventures. They show up with drug abuse symptoms, rashes, gashes, needle marks. They don't really know what has been going on. I mean, these are not people who are going out on adventures like you sorts seem to be. These are fishermen, merchants, shopkeepers, and laborers.
What about drugs?
We've not found any drugs on their person, but we're not going to be holding any of them here, if that's what you're asking.
You said merchants and all kinds of people. Is
Yes,
that
all with amnesia.
race and creed as well.
Human, mostly. Some Verizian, some Chilaxian. There was an old Kellish couple.
And
I'll be honest with you. I don't know what caused the amnesia. I don't get it.
Drugs can cause...
I don't think so. Yes, it could be drugs, but we haven't found any drugs. And none of these people have a history.
What
I think
drug
one of them was
cause?
ex-Scarni. The rest,
What drug cause?
drugs. I guess that it could be Pesh overdose, but like I said, I don't really believe that. The fact is, we've got nothing to go on.
Okay, can I have name of ex-Gani?
Zubel. Not that this will help you. We turned him loose. He doesn't remember a damn thing. Didn't even know his name. Had the brother come and collect him.
That's okay. Would it be the Gallo that do drug related?
No, the night scales mostly run with the drugs.
Oh.
Why, you think this is a Scarni plot? I'm sorry. Who are you again?
Oh, I fair.
She looks at Celtiel. Don't I know you from somewhere?
just a concerned citizen and maybe a tavern.
Uh-huh. You got one of those faces, I guess.
I suppose.
Repeat?
Apparently her brother. We look alike, apparently.
I hadn't heard of any investigators being put on the cases for the missing people.
We're
As far as I was
independent investigators.
The Lord Mayor was dropping it. So what do you want exactly? Nobody
Gosh.
does this sort of work for free.
We getting paid.
By who?
You are?
Discretion is clients.
Okay, well,
Wait.
I would like to be
Get a
frank
cake?
with you. So I would like you to be frank with me.
No,
What are
I'm
you
Cell
looking
too.
for? Get out of here with that.
What'd you say?
He said, I want you to be frank with me. I said, no, I'm Cell too.
Get out of here with that.
Who we look for is I'm gonna look to my party to see if it's okay for me to say. Does anyone tell me no in any regard?
Oh, we're looking for a girl.
We're looking for a girl that was potentially Scarny.
Or Scarny. Do you have a name?
It started with like an M or an N. I don't really
Just
remember.
tell her.
Talia.
No, I legitimately forgot. I don't remember her name.
But you
Talia.
know spell.
There are 100 Natalias. She's Varisian? Do
Okay,
you know
out of
her
character, I
family
don't
name?
remember. Out of character, I don't know if she was Varisian. I don't remember.
Oh, hold on, I'll look up.
She was half Varisian, and her name was Natalia Van Kaskerkin.
Okay.
A little bit of trivia. There is a Van Kaskerkin in every adventure that takes place in Varisia.
Okay.
Name Van Kaskerkin.
I believe the last one was running a butcher shop that was actually selling people meat.
Oh yeah, I kept some of the bones.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Anyway. Natalia Van Kaskerkin, you say?
Hmm.
Yeah, I know her. She's a petty burglar. Runs with the Tower Girls, right?
I told you
Allegedly.
we should go there.
Well, we hadn't heard that she had vanished. No one reported it to us yet, but that doesn't mean much.
She's gone.
She hasn't been picked up by any of our patrols, I can tell you that.
Okay.
Speaking of
Though, it is surprising. The Scarny tend to solve their problems. If she had disappeared, I would imagine she would have turned up by now. Like the others.
where did the others turn up?
The alleys, the streets, they're usually lying around in Dockway and Underbridge. Have you tried speaking with the Tower Girls?
Not yet. Apparently, she leave bad taste in their mouth.
Well, that's too bad. I had hoped maybe you could tell me where they were found. We used to keep an eye on the Tower Girls. We knew where they were located. We were actually getting ready to raid them, and then they moved. We don't know where their new headquarters is.
Can you tell where old headquarters?
It was someplace in Underbridge, I believe. I will have to look it up in my records. And you understand, as you are not working for the Lord Mayor, we can't actually give you that information.
You can't officially give us that information.
Not officially, but I can tell you that their rivals were the Wreckwash Blades, and it is possible that they might be able to give you more than I legally can.
Can't you just accidentally forget it on the table, while you're looking up other records?
I would like to help you with that. But I cannot give you anything on the table. I also cannot tell you that for several weeks after their headquarters moved, that the Tower Girls were slumming it in an abandoned warehouse in Underbridge. And I certainly cannot tell you that you should speak with Fenster the Blight.
You said Fencer the Blade?
Fenster the Blight. That is with an F, not a PH.
What a shitty name.
I would like to help you, but I simply cannot.
Well, that's quite shitty. You were told the Tower Watch wouldn't be able to help.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I understand. Protocol.
Yes,
Sorry to waste your time.
I as well. I swear I have seen your face somewhere before.
Who,
You make
me?
sure you stay out of trouble.
This thing? Nah. I'm sure it was someone else. I'm sure of it.
Right.
Maybe it's so ugly, you just burn image.
Hey now.
Listen, if you are independent investigators, I certainly it would be unethical of me to mention that the Lord Mayor has offered a private 1,000 sail prize if the mystery of the disappearing people is solved. And I certainly would not be allowed to pass that prize on to you.
Did you say he was dropping it earlier?
Officially, yes. Officially, he is dropping it. The reward is private under the table, of which I would certainly not mention to you. It would be bad PR, after all.
Of course.
Is there a reason he's not keeping that public? Why wouldn't he?
Because we're not getting anywhere. I think he's hoping that perhaps someone knows something and has just been waiting for a better opportunity.
Okay.
I would prefer it if you leave the amnesiacs alone. I think those people have been through enough. Perhaps you should keep your investigations to sources that will turn up information. I assure you, there's nothing to find from those people.
Just
I believe that.
Just in case.
Make a sense motive.
Oh, that's a thing. Okay.
It's basically the Pathfinder insight. She seems good. You sense that she's one of those benevolent, idealistic sorts.
Gotcha.
You don't think at this point that she's going to take you for a ride.
Gotcha.
She's too optimistic for that. Too idealistic.
Okay.
Do you have a picture, sir?
Of her? No.
Yes. Aw.
Thank you for your time.
Thank
By the way,
you
this
for
entire
what
time
you're
I've never
doing.
made eye contact with her.
Good to
Kinda
know.
neat style.
And if you do happen to run into anyone of interest who might look more or less like a fenster of sorts, do take care with him. He's an unsavory sort of the most vile nature. The Wreckwash Blades are not to be trifled with. Nasty people.
It's okay.
Well,
Thank you.
Yes, and thank you for what you do for the city. Good luck. I hope you have better fortune than the people who are going to come into my office next.
Good luck.
So, as you leave, I'm going to end the game there. So, yeah, that's the start of. I'm sorry. This adventure is titled Shards of Sin.
Guys, we're investigators.
We're bad investigators.
Yeah.
We're really bad.
Not a
Not
very diplomatic
So
people.
bad.
We've
You
had
guys
almost every district get pissed off at us.